Well, of course we ran out of time, but now we've got a 1. We got a 2.
Goes.
And we got a all right. Welcome back to the TrutherCast, home of the TrutherCast. We are here to take your truth and please, for the love of God, fix the microphones orders. So if you are not familiar with the show, we are attempting to not just be two more dudes complaining on the old internet, but, we got a shtick around here. And the shtick is to help you build a better news feed, so you can find some of those alternative news tidbits, some of those things that the mainstream media may be lying to you about, or maybe just lying through, obfuscation or some sort, and so hopefully we can help you build your better news feed here tonight. We're going to be going through the locals.mastash.com. You can get there by clicking on that link in the description box down below. And that's the place that you should come hang out, because then you'll see some of the things that we're into and some of the people we follow, some of the, alternative news people or the independent journalists or, independent organizations and whatnot. And I encourage you folks to go follow and support them too, because that's how you build a better news feed. And that's how we help promote alt news and alt tech and, alternate thinking and ideas and whatnot. So, if that sounds interesting to you, thanks for hanging out. Definitely, stay tuned here, because we're going to be going over like what happened this last week. It was like, Zelensky getting scolded and, like they won't give us the damn Epstein list, and what else was going on this week, man? We're gonna have to bust all that down.
We're gonna have to dive into it and scroll through that mass stash of insights on the locals. Which, if you don't have a locals, you just go on over to locals and you make yourself a little account. It's not hard. It's pretty self-explanatory, and it's also free. And they're not gonna junk email you all day as well. So. No excuses. go get a locals account and follow the Mass Stash Insight so you can at least have some midweek, because I know you're just craving this info. So instead of having to wait all the way till Monday, you can kind of see what we're going to be talking about through the week if you hop on the locals and roll through the feed. You will get notifications if you opt in for them from the locals on what we post.
You can definitely turn it off if you don't like it and you're like annoyed by it and you just feel like dipping in when you feel like it, though.
Yeah, if maybe for some reason we start posting every like 30 minutes. But so far, we're not quite at that level yet, so you'll be fine. Go on there, find us, subscribe.
It's like a 10% kind of gig, you know? It's not like a... And then another thing that you could definitely check out is if you got a computer, show sponsored again by me, my company, Revival Tech. Hit that signup.toleratetech.com down below if you got a computer and you're interested in getting some, like-minded tech guy security, performance monitoring, and tech support. Or if you know somebody that you think would be interested, please pass that information along to them. But link down there, down in the box thing, it's called signup.toleratetech.com. That's got a bunch of information about it. So don't want to bore you with the sponsor ad part, thing or anything. But like, it helps the lights, stay on. And then, hey, might be good for you, Like, I used to never push antivirus on people until, the COVID thing. And then cybercrime went wacko. So put it on all my stuff. And, definitely help a lot of people out with it here at my shop, Revival Tech. If you're in the area, stop on in, say hi, get to know me. Love to see you and have a chat about the current events too. But Dan loves telling people how to do things for free.
We all love free stuff, right? And is hoeing free or is it not free? Don't be a hoe. Share the show.
I think that one, there's a line. There's a fine line, because as soon as it's not free, then it becomes illegal in most states.
Yeah. Yep, that's a good point. But that is the free way. You be gentleman, a gentle lady, and you share it, because sharing is caring, and sharing is also being a non-hoe, according to our great friends over at First Form, Andy and DJ, and I forget his tech guy's name, the guy that runs his soundboard or whatever he's doing.
Sell a Real AF podcast. It's pretty amazing, folks.
Yep. And now he's on YouTube. You can find the Andy just on YouTube. I think it's literally just Andy Frizella. I think that's the name of their channel now.
The Real AF. That shit'll pull it up. That's the podcast name.
Yeah.
I think the microphone was good, but only if I talk loud. If I talk quiet, it's like bye-bye, because it's still kind of echoing and picking you up for some strange reason. Even though I have the microphone in the right mode, I've changed all the settings and whatnot. What does the microphone sound like to you folks out there in live chat land?
Let us know in the chat. We got echoing going on, or do we sound okay today so we can further better the cast?
Better. I'm going to further better this shit. Hold on. Hold my further. Hold my further. I'm going to better this. We got to get some live chatters up in here, man. I think maybe the Rumble notifications have failed us.
We're both sounding good. Thank you, Burr, 1991.
Oh, what's up, Burr? I ain't seen you before. Thanks for popping in.
Burr.
Is it cold out there?
Maybe he wears, or she, maybe they wear a lot of ice,
Wait, it's echo when I talk or echo when Dan talks? On my mic, so when I talk? Son of a biscuit.
It's probably, we've seen it peak just a little bit. Apparently my voice is actually trying to carry today a little bit.
Yeah, actually when I talk, his isn't going up, so maybe it is, but
bing, bang,
maybe
boom.
When I'm facing this way, he can hear me.
Maybe it's because I am talking towards you. Maybe we just got to move the other TV to the other wall, and I'll talk this way, you talk that way. We just don't even look at each other while we do the cast.
It just makes it awkward.
We can pretend we're Zoom meeting this, and I'm not even here right now. I'm in a totally different space.
Okay, it's in a mode where you got to make sure to talk at the mic and loudly of some nature, and then we should be good.
Oh, hey. Ha, ha, ha. Hey, we sound good. Thanks, Brady Bunch.
It's pretty good food. Don't change it. Why are you all talking about food, Wilkinson? Gee, man, Christmas.
Yeah, I just ate. Now you made me hungry again.
Yeah, that autocorrect, man. It was like, you don't want to say good. You definitely want to talk about food, right?
It knows me. That's for sure.
Which, by the way, now that you've
I always
mentioned
want food.
I'm hungry too.
That's just because we got back from our 45-minute outside workout doing 75 hard. We have walked ourselves up an appetite.
Yeah, I don't know if you feel like getting your shit together, but you guys could start 75 hard as well.
Yeah.
Dan's falling a little bit behind, but hey, you know,
I had a
like,
late start, just like I do things late in life, unfortunately. But it has started. That is the key thing. We have dipped our toes in the pond, and we are doing this thing.
Wilkinson's fat, so she's starting 75 hard, just like my fat butt.
I am doing it for, I guess, just the betterment, because I can't afford to lose any more weight. I am a twig. So hopefully I do the opposite
You gotta pound
of it.
food and bulk up. Yeah,
I'm going to do the 75. I turn into hard.
The muscle's heavier than the fat.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
maybe
like-
you'll put on some weight.
Like, I'm actually going to become hard after the 75. You get, I guess you guys are going to also, I guess you can't not turn hard during 75. That's the whole point.
Them gains, though, I agree.
Gains. But at least we
let's
are
share this
sounding
out here.
okay.
Okay, we're good. We're gonna get into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Was there anything last week, first off, that you guys thought was mostly interesting, or we're probably gonna cover most of it, but make sure during the show to drop that in the live chat, and then if you're watching this back on the replay, feel free to comment down below, and then we'll cover it next week, right? So if you want to drop in some of your choices of things you think were interesting, love to get some engagement from you folks. Always fun.
Oh yeah, and Burr in the chat. Why walk 45 minutes when you can walk 2 hours? Hey, if you feeling like it, because I know you were totally feeling like it.
There you go.
Walking more is never a bad thing, I don't think. I mean, the people from way back in the day, like Bible times, they walked everywhere, and they walked miles upon miles upon miles. The only way you got to new parts of the world was walking. Man, wouldn't that be weird? We'd have to walk everywhere, man. Like, that would bring a whole new definition of 15-minute cities.
That's where horses and dog sleds came from, right? F this, man. I'm strapping some kind of an animal on a thing and bringing my butt around, man.
Do you think we were actually riding velociraptors back in the day?
What?
Like
No.
they talk about,
That'd be
or like they
ludicrous.
do on Jurassic Park. He finally like hops on the velociraptor.
Oh yeah, that was a little bit ridiculous. I
mean, hey, we don't like walking. I think it's been ingrained in our brains. Like, that's what makes us smarter. We're like it. We're in our DNA, made to be a little lazy. You're like, okay, I got to find a easier way to do this. Like, if we didn't have that, we'd never evolve. Like all these other animals, they all still walk everywhere. There's only a few animals that hitchhike on other animals.
right?
So they must be the lazy, or per se the smart ones of their species.
Well, then you get into the debate of what's the difference between lazy and efficient or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess lazy probably does go hand in hand with efficiency.
Right? Tricky.
And that's the weird thing, because if we don't walk, now that we don't walk everywhere, we get bigger, we get a little more plush, and then we get unhealthy. So it's almost like you gotta look up David Goggins and do some listening to him. You gotta love the heart. The
David Goggins, great guy. I tried to call him to get him into my cabinet. He said, I'm sorry, I am busy.
You gotta love doing the shit. You just gotta get yourself into, you enjoy the hard things of life.
He said, I'm currently on a jog. I won't be able to join the cabinet. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I eat McDonald's and Diet Coke. I don't know if I want you in the cabinet any longer.
I don't think that would be the diet Andy Frisella would be quite saying is a diet to go on in the 75 hard.
So I'm not going to be able to have a Diet Coke, button. This is bullshit. Not interested.
Sounds like 75 womp. 75. What? Oh, man. I'm drawing a blank.
Lame.
The 75 lame. There we go. Yeah, that's a good one. It's just 75 lame.
All right. I was trying to share the stupid show out to the Facebook, but it is being lame. So we can just pop on over here to the locals.mastache.com, and it's broken because it's more fun.
Heck yeah. Some of the most fun I've had was being broke. And that's probably because I haven't been rich yet, so I don't know what type of fun I can have.
Zing!
I got jokes.
I wonder what that's like.
Y'all come here for the news. I will entertain you. I'll make you laugh maybe once or twice.
Okay, yeah. So today's like a short one, so we might just end short, or maybe pull out some baloney about to talk to.
Yeah, maybe if some people watch and have some things that we don't cover that they are interested about, like anything we could talk about. Dinosaurs.
You know, just scroll through X. That'll burn time.
Yeah, that normally does. That'd be doom scrolling right there.
Mom of two, 34-year-old, undergoes dozen surgeries to replace her dying bones, which doctors link to COVID vaccine. Don't ban me, YouTube. Just reporting the news here. Just reporting the news.
That sounds like some Frankenstein type stuff. Yay.
So this is pretty wacko, dude. Allegedly, somehow this doctor has connected the COVID vaccine was actually, guess what, probably autoimmune. It was attacking itself. So it was eating away at the bones. So what do you mean 34 surgeries to replace dying bones? That's crazy.
Here's an interesting tidbit also to bring awareness brings realization, right? That's our shtick here. And the weird thing is, bones, osteoporosis, normally, it's generally in old people. They're getting old. The whole stigma is if they're old, their bones are weak. Well, there's definitely some old people that don't have weak bones. And the main thing the doctor found out a while ago, but it's weird because it's not on, mainstream news and knowledge. So what do old people get as a supplement by their doctors because they have weak bones? You guessed it, calcium. As we have been told all these years in our life, calcium builds strong bones because our bones are made out of calcium. So this is true. And if you want strong bones, the calcium's got to get in there. Well, here's the thing. They give you calcium supplements, but till this, I don't know what the practice is current times. I'm sure it depends on the doctor, but calcium does not even get absorbed into your bones unless you have vitamin K2. So unless which the people back in the day were not getting supplemented K2 with the calcium. So a doctor did some looking into why are all these old people having osteoporosis and then they get supplemented calcium, but they still have weak bones. They just continue to get weaker and weaker. So he ended up looking into the autopsies on these people to then find out that all their arteries were caked with hardened calcium. So not just it wasn't even cholesterol that was gumming up their arteries. It wasn't cholesterol. It was calcium that actually was gumming up their arteries because
crazy.
If you have excess calcium, it's either going to go into kidney stones or into your arteries. It doesn't even make it to your bones. So that is where the balance of life. You got to balance things out. You got to have a full plate of all the different foods and food groups. Unlike and don't listen to the old food table as we figured out, that was complete bullshit to just sell bread because the government did what they did. They told the farmers to make a bunch of wheat, and then they're like, whoa, we got way too much wheat going on, guys. How are we going to move this? Oh, we're going to tell the people it's just great on the food groups, and you got to actually eat mostly bread. Wrong. Bread's not bad, but it's also got to be a thing in balance.
I think it's wild that the entire food pyramid was 100% bullshit. And that's another one where hippy dippy healthy people or some shit I was into would say that, and people would be like, "No, there's no way. It's like the thing, the authority." And then it's like, "Oh, guess what? Just like everything, it was based on making money, dude."
Yeah.
This one, I should send it to you.
I want to know
you're
if that
into
was
theology stuff.
that was the first like doctor kind of like they
Oh, no, I got one for ya.
they prescribe prescription drugs
Well,
like
maybe not
nothing else.
doctor.
But like before we had the prescription drugs, what if that was the whole shtick? They were actually making money off the calcium supplements, even though it was like probably like dimes, it was still extra.
Right.
And the weird because they wouldn't they also then had to do K2 supplements separately, because when you start looking into it,
Yeah.
all like they're the expensive ones, of course, but all your regular multivitamins that you take a multivitamin as a kid, you might have had the Flintstone vitamins, and it's like, oh, we got to make sure we're getting the vitamins we're not getting from our food, so we supplement it with that. This would be a daily multivitamin. So what would that make your brain think? Oh, it has everything I need.
That's how they pitch it.
Yeah. And then when you look into it, and when I found out, I looked into this because I found out that story about the doctor that looked into these cadavers and how all the calcium was not getting into their bones. Yeah. And so he was like, well, that's weird. And so, but then he, went into thinking about what he knew with the doctor stuff, how the body works, then realized, oh, they probably weren't eating enough red meat. They probably weren't eating or drinking enough milk. Having enough butter, because what have we been told? Butter is bad. Let's have all these butter alternatives because it's fatty. It's going to give you cholesterol. It's actually a total sham. I mean, if you drank glasses of melted butter, probably not also good for your arteries. Obviously, back to the balance thing. But I started looking into all your Centrum Silver, the Flintstones, like all the one a day for men, women. None of them have vitamin K2 in it. So how is it? It's got some other things that might help you, but you'd think, since calcium won't go into your bones without K2, you'd think that'd be a really important one to put in there. But they didn't. So hence back, maybe that was the first doctor scheme onto them just writing things off because they were in with the calcium supplement company. That's a real off on a
bro,
off
for
a
real
wing
though,
there.
dude. And then the other one that's interesting that I heard, so it's not doctor, but talk about how old is this? The bad guys do something just to make money. I gotta send this to you because you're into theology stuff. So my favorite middle-aged dude who talks some new school stuff, but hardcore Bible thumpers would call it new age, and that has a negative thing to it because oh, that's bad allegedly, which then you look into it and I agree, it might be low-key communism, Satanism or something, right? Trying to be if you're a young person who's not really into the hardcore Bible, old school Christianity teachings, this is the new thing, but it's actually not great. Anyway, they were talking about how they claim from looking at these Moses scrolls that are older than the Dead Sea Scrolls, they are claiming and showing evidence and have a whole slideshow presentation and everything that there was never, ever, ever anything about God saying, I like you to kill animals and sacrifice them to me, and the blood thing washes away sins and blah, 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 blah. It was slipped in by the scribes because 90%, 95% of people couldn't read right. So the scribes were actually either the ones who did this or commanded by king guy moneymaker to put that in there because guess what? You got to buy cattle to get that sin washed away. So oh, you did something bad? Oh yeah, you're going to need to buy the goat. So it was all just a money scheme is their claim. So then it's tricky because then it offends the hardcore Bible people because that means the whole Jesus story is off. Hey man, core Jesus, good, a lot of things true.
Well, see, that's
you didn't come to
though.
fix it and all of a sudden because that's what's weird is they say God is infallible.
Because that's was a person martyred for, not an animal. A little different with a blood thing. But
well, the whole story is he came and allowed himself to be murdered, which by the way, he was kind of a jerk because he poked things to get to this position to be murdered. So Jesus was a shit starter. Funny. We want to think oh, he's so peaceful. Bruh, he was poking things to get to that far. He could have just backed off Buddha style.
I figured that out from the story about him and the the temples where people had to go, like basically how taxes were back in the day. They had to go and give to the temple.
Yep.
And he went in and just started poking the bear with them, and then he flipped the tables. Like, oh, he was definitely
that's what they actually brought up.
A shit starter.
That's actually what they brought up, man.
He would stir the pot.
Good biblical knowledge, man.
Almost
that is
like
I
was raised on it. Yeah,
that's why I thought you'd be into it.
It's almost like I haven't personally read, but like through the groups of people being together, like we have read basically the entire Bible front to back.
Yeah.
Probably multiple times through my years at this point. Do I know it as well as I should? Probably not. If that's stage 0.5 dementia, not sure. I haven't had a scan to see how much aluminum has made it to my brain yet.
That's one of those you don't use it, you'll lose it. It'd come right back to you if you started jogging memory or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But so then the difficult one is, well, they say that he went to go allow himself to be killed to go, oh, we don't need to do that no more. And then allegedly Paul writes in Bible, because is the New Testament actually Jesus's words? No.
Right,
so it's actually the story of Paul. So is this Paul's religion or Jesus?
It's a lot of the disciples
tricky
stories and different.
Nah, it's just Paul. Paul put it all together apparently. So it's like words of the other apostles.
Oh, that's.
But it's technically like Paul's religion because he's the one that like formed it. I'm like, I gotta understand this more.
Like, totally. There's a couple other authors in the.
I'm saying like one of the newer critiques of this is then Paul's this person who put this all together. So then we're like, who was that? You know. But anyway, it's like, oh, he died to make it like, oh, God was actually wrong. I know we said he's infallible, but now you don't got to kill animals. I'm sacrificing self, our bus.
It's also really interesting when you start looking into older versions of the Bible and then the newer versions. And it's like the game of telephone, just like how that you said those guys didn't know how to read that well back then. And so then they just did the interpretation as well as they could figure.
And then they're saying that there's mistranslations. And when they look at these Moses scrolls, blah, blah, things are different. Very interesting.
Apparently the King James put a lot of his own little iterations in there. It skewed way far, maybe not say way, but it definitely skewed away from the original text.
And then they got a movie they made called Christspiracy, and I was like, ooh, you had me at Spiracy. So I got to check that out.
Got my knickers knocking with conspiracy, yes.
They also did a rebuttal to Billy Carson getting his butt just hosed on that debate with the West guy who's a hardcore theology theologian, scripture guy. I forget the word for that, but the West...
Theologist?
It's like the one for scriptures because he like takes them in like something papyrus and like hardcores, and so he's allegedly an expert at translations. But he debated that Billy Carson guy who's a real cool aliens and Emerald Tablets guy, and he totally fell apart, bro. He was not on point. I was like, bro, I would have argued better than that, and I don't even know if I fully believe all the alien bullshit. It's just really fun and cool, man. Like. So they did it, and it was really interesting. So they got on with the West guy, and they kind of filled in the better explanations of it. But that's a whole nother rigmarole kind of thing.
Right. Man, you said earlier, what did you bring up? You were saying they had the whole like, you didn't say power, the slideshow. That's what it was. I'm like, heck yeah, if it's got PowerPoint, it's legit.
It makes it more legit, man.
Well,
you got ideas thought out.
I heard this. I'm bringing this up because that's been like the norm of things, right?
Sure.
Times are changing, or maybe they just figured out a better way to do it. Did you know at Amazon with the executives, there's no PowerPoint. Jeff Bezos does not allow you to do a PowerPoint.
Interesting.
He says no PowerPoint.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, well, like the main thing was also when they have meetings now, it normally like a memo goes out, right? Companies like they'll send out a little email letter. Yeah. Everybody's supposed to read it, and then you have a meeting together. What do most people do? They're gonna breeze over it. They're gonna barely read it. So, and he knows that. So now he has them printed out, and then when they show up, the first 30 minutes is just them. He gives everybody 30 minutes to just read over it.
Yeah.
And you got to read the whole thing. So then you can't, he knows you're not getting around reading it.
Right.
And then everybody will actually, and it's like way more effective. It's like, oh yeah, wow, leave it to, no wonder it's a very profitable business because he's running things like that.
And then
that was where I liked how he was just like, no, PowerPoints are bullshit. It was like, haha, I knew all my school of having to make PowerPoints was a waste of time. No, it wasn't.
Finally. No, because that's actually just a thing in like sales business. Like a couple years ago, everybody's in the like talk of the sales business or whatever started realizing that. So it's like, yeah, you got to keep your PowerPoints like 5 slides.
It's because
it's all about just shooting the shit,
it's
bro.
Because like
nobody pays attention to that
when
anymore.
we get used to the norm, you start slacking on
it's
points.
because of shorts, bro. That's why.
Well, I mean, that's an evolution in the things we got in society. That would also be one.
I got a business idea I need to run by you guys. Please open up my TikTok channel. It's at trying to be a legitimate adult.
Shorts totally just came because we all got less time and we all still trying to get information, right? Except for somehow now you hop on Shorts, you doom scroll for a while, and then you actually were on there longer than if you watched a long video.
All about that short dopamine kick, bro.
Yep.
So I am glad to see the persuasion experts bet what? I'm glad to see the persuasion expert bet his career on COVID response being a full-blown psyop, agreeing with what us crazy tinfoil hatters have been trying to say now for like how long? So he had this expert guy on the old Joe Rogan show here, and I thought this was interesting. Let's listen to this.
A room, and that people discussed the best ways to get people to comply.
Yes. Oh yes, I would bet my career because it was executed following textbook protocol. And there are these, I made a YouTube video on my channel of like how to spot psyops, and there's like 20 different little things. You only need one thing, and you can spot whether or not you're standing in the middle of a psyop. And that one thing is, if the opinion that's coming out needs
all about one thing,
people to be silenced, it's a psyop. There are psychological operations in play.
Wow. So if you can't question it, if you're supposed to just go along, it's a psyop.
Yeah, and if people have to be silenced or publicly shamed because of their information, and they're not telling people the sky's falling, they're not saying crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're just saying basic stuff, and they need to be silenced. That is a psyop. No matter what, you can go back in any time in history during a psyop of our country, and if people needed to be silenced or shamed publicly, which is like the tribe, right? That's why public speaking is our number one fear for humans. It's not a fear of speaking, it's a fear of judgment.
Right.
So I'm just putting the threat of judgment out there. That is a psyop. So if people have to be silenced, and they were Harvard doctors, kicked off of the internet or kicked off of Twitter for this stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Stanford, MIT.
That's all you need.
Yeah. The Great Barrington Declaration. People didn't agree with exactly how the government was handling everything, and they were silenced. And they were treated like fringe quacks instead of respected physicians. And it was openly discussed in emails. That's what's really crazy. They talked about the strategy of silencing these people. And then you had the actual government itself contacting Twitter, trying to get people removed, which is wild.
Yeah, and didn't you have Mark Zuckerberg on? He talked about
and yeah, he talked about Facebook doing it, about the FBI contacting them. It's crazy to believe, but my hope is that people have learned from this past 4 years and that this is an eye-opener.
Awareness, folks. So, don't forget, man, if you're very fully aware of these kind of things and you feel this way because you were shouting from the effing mountaintop, just ride along with us here at the TrutherCast.
Hey, just like, hey, I don't hate to do it, but bringing back to the whole theology thing, that it's basically like Jesus said, spread the word. Be like, don't be afraid to speak the word. People are going to put you down and call you things, speaking the truth. And he wasn't necessarily just talking about the word like Jesus. It's just truth in general. Like, people don't want to believe, but is true because there's a whole lot of other people trying to play a psyop on you. Like, you will be shamed a lot speaking the truth if it's going to possibly, mess with other people's pockets, cash flows, stuff like that. That is what I think about it mostly. Like you got to.
So you got to share this
You
out.
got to be strong to say the truth. It doesn't matter if
You
it's
gotta
about
share this
God or
out.
just truth in general.
That's my point.
People always are trying to hack you down because generally
100%.
people that are making the big money isn't always off truth or good background.
So if you agree with this, guys, and you still got people that are still like not believing that, hey, all these guys were doing evil, bad shit, blah, 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 blah.
Or that the COVID jab was good for you.
I mean, maybe it helps some people, but not dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
don't ban us, YouTube.
Like,
Like the COVID vaccine worked for some people, but it did not work as good as they claimed.
like,
And then
I mean,
some people had bad reactions to it, you know.
I mean, some people, they didn't get COVID, they didn't die. What the inside of their bodies look like might be a different. Actually, have you seen what they're now doing to like help clean you? Other than like we covered last week with that supplement that had the was it butamine and something. Like there's ways to detox, detox to flush the stuff out of your system. You know how they're also
protein.
You know how they're also doing it now?
What's that?
Dude, it's like it's weird, but I mean, I guess it's just new age stuff. They're doing an oil change on your blood per se. People, it's becoming super popular, kind of like that, because you have a needle that is drawing the blood out of you, and then you have a needle that puts blood back into you after they've sifted the plasma out of it. So now what they're doing is they're calling them blood oil changes, and it's the same. You have a line that goes in and a line that goes out in two different veins, two different sides of your body, because that'd be the easiest way to make sure you get all of it, pretty much. But oh, dude, it's freaky. What, like, they have a base, like what would be like the oil filter in the machine that's pulling your blood out and then filtering it and then putting it back into your body. And what is it filtering? The guy gets the filter, which is this bucket, and it's got like a little bit of like what is not like pure blood, but it's a little reddish in tint. It looks a little more waterish. It basically looks like some fruit punch Kool-Aid. And then the dude like sticks a tool in there and pulls out a spaghetti, like a full length thing of what would be spaghetti, but it is red and gloppy and slimy looking. And you know what
you're
it
talking
is?
about the protein strands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was
They
literally
found out it's not a blood clot.
It's in your vein.
Yeah. That's the
And
stuff
just-
on the died suddenly.
Yeah.
And guess when they started finding those in cadavers?
And now we're
January 2021, bro.
it's
Like
just
they all across America.
like with a doctor.
What?
You see the color.
F. I missed that part.
Visually could see the color
That's insanity.
of the tube of it coming out, and then the color of it going back into their body, total different color. But like, yeah, they have this like bucket in the machine that's doing that, and he literally, like, the dude was sitting there having it done, and the doctor goes, "Look, this was in you like minutes ago." Pulls out this huge strand. You should have seen his face. He's just
that's
like,
insanity.
well, because you're basically looking at like, oh, I was probably about to die. Nice, like, cool, great. Like, what? Like, when it gives me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it.
I know. Well, that's where watching all those posts on Died Suddenly is one of those where it makes you like, I don't want to look at this.
Yeah, so like,
I want to make believe.
Yeah, you know how sometimes you get a sinus infection and like you're hawking up loogies and like you can't breathe because your nose clogged with mucus? It's literally like mucus blood clot globs are in your veins now from this. That is messed up. And I'm pretty sure we would have known this before because people get put on IVs and blood drawn and all this. And they weren't pulling these weird, fatty, long tissue strings out of the dang tubes. It'd just be blood. There wouldn't be any solid bits of crap in your blood. And now they're pulling out spaghetti strings out of your veins. Like,
And it literally started happening January 2021, and all of these, what are they, the morticians? They all started talking to each other across the nation, and then over the years, it's gathered momentum, and it's like 100% a thing. It's like non-debatable.
Yeah.
100% a thing.
Yeah. Like, I just can't believe, like, we're at the point where now, like, our cars, we got to go in for, like, an oil change. We got to, like, filter the crap out of our blood every once in a while.
Well, if
like,
you
isn't
took the
something in your
vaccine-
body supposed to do that? Oh, and then when you alter the genetic material and the coding of what your body knows is supposed to do with things, guess what doesn't happen? You don't do your own blood oil changes internally anymore. Now we have to do them external because your DNA is all messed up.
Well, we've talked about that, bro. That's like blood doping, like the wealthy people. Like where, you know, we talk about like, oh, adrenochrome.
Yeah,
whatever.
young blood
We have rich
brings
people
new
that
life. Yeah.
Swap out with, you know, they do like some kind of a, what's it called? It's not like a transfusion, but maybe it is. But it's like the live one
yeah.
where literally they're just plugged together and they're cycling out the blood.
And
Like,
guess what
dude?
isn't happening in that blood transfer and what they're not finding in the tubes? Strands of mucousy, like blood weird bits.
Well, that's where nobody's been able. I haven't seen a study or test or something, right? But nobody's proven that this could happen in somebody that just got COVID. It's all the only thing we have is speculative. Of it only started showing up to these morticians January of 2021.
Yeah, and that's
right
the,
after they started pushing the vaccine.
yeah,
So
and I think those actually might be
That's
different
estimation.
strands. What you're talking about compared to like these bits, they might actually even be different. Those might just be in the body. This is specifically in the veins. I don't
these
know.
are
if
like in the veins.
they were specifically in the veins. I seem to remember them being like white, but maybe that's because they already drained the body of the blood since they were dead, and
It's
that's what they do
post-mortem
first.
or
And
whatever.
you know, yeah. So maybe.
Well, the strands, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because like I keep calling them mucusy, but
I don't wanna pull it
I
up
guess
just 'cause
that's
it's
not
gross.
a great way to describe it because mucus you can like pull it apart. Like it might string like cheese, but it would like pull apart. There's no like hard substance to it.
That's
The things he was pulling out of his bucket was like a rubber band.
That's disgusting.
It was like holding together and just long and stretchy. It's just slimy. Yeah, so that's where I got the mucusy. It's like slimy on the outside.
Yeah.
Obviously because it's wet and
Coming
has
out of view.
little.
If you want to see this stuff, if you like gross shit, or you just don't believe what the hell we're saying, go over to X. And if you don't have an account, make an account. Don't be lazy and don't be a loser. And then just search "died suddenly," and
I think
guarantee you'll find them.
I'm pretty sure that's kind of why I was, because I can't believe I don't think I shared it to the show, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's
I'll
because
just talk about it.
yeah, because like that was almost like
it's
ew.
graphic.
Ugh. Yeah, or if you just want to look up blood oil change, you'll find it.
Yeah, right. Find that
Or
one.
you'll find the one I'm specifically talking about. If you look up the other stuff, you'll find the post-mortem protein strands
Yeah.
and probably now the blood oil change.
Talking about or something.
Yeah,
I wonder if they posted about that one. Yeah.
yeah. Heebie-jeebies.
I had
Yeah.
a feeling when the Mockingbird media started calling Americans were unsafe, claiming that Americans were unsafe with their Social Security information accessible to Elon Musk, they were probably yet again simply projecting.
Yep. Generally, the only people that are freaking out are people that might have some wrongdoing.
And generally, when
there.
the dirty Democrats say somebody on our side's doing something, they're actually doing it, because we got a good news piece here from the OG himself, Mr. Alex Jones. And he says, new bombshell, Doge revelation. The Biden administration secretly gave 400,000 conservative Americans tax returns to a Soros-run intelligence operation. Top? So they could be targeted and harassed. That's epically insanity, folks. So they said, oh, Elon's, you're going to take it's not safe, your Social Security, rawr. And then George Soros is just giving away your tax returns and Social Security.
I always got one word for those people: PayPal.
So, I mean, like,
PayPal. You're worried about Elon having all that information now. Guess what? He had it from years back when he was owner of PayPal. He could have seen that if he wanted to. And guess what? That's not the reason why he's rich, because he's rich because of the newer companies. PayPal wasn't that great for him.
it was good.
It was good, but it's not like it's not what made him the billions. But definitely was a good start.
Technically, you could say if he didn't do that, he wouldn't be where he's at. But yeah.
You never know.
He
But,
didn't
like,
generate billions from that deal.
main thing of it.
But It allowed
PayPal,
him to start.
financial service. You have to plug in your social security number and all that stuff. So, yeah, he's actually not looking at social security numbers for most all the work they're doing.
And also,
They are following the money trails. There is no social security number involved.
And also, how ignorant is that when the guy has one of the highest security clearances in the entire United States government
Also, another
because of the space stuff?
yeah. Also, another point.
So he's been
Oh.
vetted as a legitimate person that gets the rights to like something, no secrets.
Also, okay, so everybody's like IRS, big bad scary, because if you file your taxes wrong, because they can't tell you how much to pay. But if you pay wrong, according to them, which they can't tell you exactly what it is, but they can just tell you rules, and then all of a sudden you could be wrong, even though you didn't know you were
That
wrong.
already blew my
And
mind.
then you like go to jail, you have massive fines. Okay. Do you think you are more worried about the guy that has a family and has to make a paycheck and work for the IRS and like follow the code book, which is if they do wrong, you have to report it and then you might get in trouble? Or the guy that is all about freedom and Americans being about the American way, free, full of liberty, privacy to our financials and certain things of our life? That's Elon Musk. So do you think he's going to be looking in like, oh, nope, looks like you, Sharon, didn't pay your taxes from 2017. Looks like I'm going to report you. He don't give a crap.
The other
Like,
one,
he's more like, yeah, we ain't worried about her. Like, she's not paying any big chunk of it. So like, that's whatever. The
Yep.
IRS agent, on the other hand, who has to make the paycheck and worry about getting fired because we know how the IRS is, because they prosecuted people in the past over some probably very silly mistakes. I would definitely, if I were to bet, I'm definitely betting the IRS agent is going to get me into more trouble if I had a tax boo-boo than Elon Musk.
well, also,
And he's a smart man. He probably knows the tax
That has
code well,
nothing to
but
do
he
with what he's
doesn't
doing.
know well.
he's not doing any of that.
Yeah,
So that's
right,
super annoying.
yeah.
It's just super. He's not doing any of that, bro.
Yeah.
He's like overseeing the thing and like telling minions to go do shit that already worked.
Yeah. Oh, no, young kids might be seeing. No, they're also not. They are just following money that doesn't add up. They are doing
that was
math
painful.
most of the time.
What are your favorite, retorts to the people you've been talking to that say shit like that in the chat? Let me know what your favorite factoids are about explaining that that's not real.
Well, we got one. Burr likes that Jesus was a shit starter.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, it makes Jesus a little cooler, huh? Not so like, oh, you're a Jesus freak. You're like one of those like lames, doesn't like, just goody two-shoe. Heck no, Jesus starts a little shit every once in a while. He rustles the bushes like.
Just like I always argue, like, hey, man, if you haven't really actually read the Bible, you might have only heard the ninny story of Christianity, but, there's like Archangel Michael, and they was like killing a bunch of bad peoples or demons and blah, blah, blah. Like,
slaughtering demons. It's just like Supernatural. And I know a whole bunch of, especially you females, like Supernatural. It's mostly not for the stories and one guy character in it. But, you end up liking the other bits to it a little bit. I mean, you end up liking that he's on the side of good, and then there's this bad side. But, like, we love that he is destroying, like, there's nothing nice about murdering, like, it's not non-graphic murdering and decapitating demons, but guess what? That's part of the game on fighting evil.
I was just disappointed when Elon found those 4 million people over 100 years old, and then everybody started calling them vampires. I was upset there wasn't some kind of a meme about a bunch of chicks that were into Twilight that were all like, wait, what? I gotta find these dudes.
Edward!
They're out there? I knew it!
I knew it! I've always loved Edward! Team Edward!
About to Jones on some vampire.
Man, did Twilight viewings like skyrocket recently? Do they like bump back up maybe?
Which one?
Twilight, like the views on Twilight streaming or something, because everything's streamed nowadays. That'd be the only way I think they could really track it. It's not like they're tracking how many DVDs of Twilight are out there getting like rented and whatnot.
What's a DVD? Can you rent a DVD?
Is Redbox still a thing?
Bankrupt, gone. They left the boxes all out there, and you could go up and rate them and take all the DVDs if you wanted
They
to.
did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nah, dude, they done.
Dang.
Yeah.
Man.
Legacy
So
gone.
you can only find DVDs in disc replay and pawn shops now, basically.
Please don't tell me
In Walmart.
Jensen
No, you
is
can
some
still-
kind
you
of a
can still-
Twilight character.
You can still get
Oh Lord, Burr's over here. I think Twilight now. I don't know.
Jensen. No, that's the Supernatural guy, right?
No, Lord.
I'm pretty sure that's who I was talking about. I was hitting that for the Supernatural. Yeah.
Okay, so should we go comic relief section? We got a comic relief section we can throw in here. Mr. Niltamir reminded me. Thanks for sending over that link in the chat, Mr. Niltamir. If you guys got something interesting or funny, try to keep it on topic-ish, right? But feel free to share that in the live chat or the comments down below if you're on that replay. But here, I think we should go to comic relief. Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
We have had some very good discussions with Russia. I spoke with President Putin, and we're going to try and destroy us. You want me to be tough? We have had some very good discussions with Russia. I spoke with President Putin, and we're going to try and bring this to a close. It's something that you want.
I mean, this is also on topic because we were going to go over the Zelensky thing, so maybe this is just a good opener. But basically, they just put music to it. So if you haven't seen this, or if you have, it's pretty entertaining.
And that he wants, we'll have to negotiate a deal. Well, it's a bad plan. We're trying to solve a problem. You don't have the cards. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. You don't have the cards. Having cards, right? You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
We can help Europe because Europe really helped. President Trump said that they made less support. They really gave a lot.
But they gave much less.
No.
Much less.
No. No.
Don't argue.
No.
They don't like each other. They don't like each other. This is not a love match. I've stopped wars. I've stopped many wars. People will tell you I stopped wars that nobody ever heard about.
Putin began this war. He has to pay all money for innovation. He has to pay. We signed the exchange of prison, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yeah.
With respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media.
We're trying to solve a problem. You don't have the cards. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. You don't have the cards. Having cards, right? You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice souls and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. Whoa! And then you tell us, I don't want to ceasefire. I don't want to ceasefire. You got to be more thankful.
I want to ceasefire.
Because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards. I've empowered you to be a tough guy. I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty. We're trying to solve a problem. You don't have the cards. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. You don't have the cards. Having cards, right? You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with him either.
He hates us. He hates Ukrainians. He wants to destroy us.
You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough, but you're never going to get a deal that way. So you want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? It doesn't work that way. They respect me. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. We're trying to solve a problem. You don't have the cards. You're in no position.
Yeah, man, check out the remix, bros. They're pretty funny, man. It wasn't no, China virus. What was that? Kung flu virus.
The Kung Fu virus.
Oh man, they got some bangers
Yeah,
on here, man. But I still like highlighting these guys, man, because this is like some culture swayed politics type shit, bro.
Right,
like
yeah.
this is a good way to get out like what's going down, like put some silly ass music on it and a few more people watch, right?
It makes it a lot easier than watching the original, because it's painful to watch the original interview.
It's super interesting, man.
like, I don't get how Zelensky. I mean, I can get it, like the hate for Putin, but okay, so you've been getting all this money, and then allegedly a lot of it hasn't showed up. Blah blah blah. Doesn't really matter. What are you doing as the leader of your country to do things internally? So did you only start this war because somebody from over here promised that we would support the whole time?
Yes.
You should.
No, they did. It was Lindsey Graham.
So
remember that video we covered?
Yes.
When they went over there,
well,
like
I'm getting that.
just to remind people that maybe
right.
don't know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They went over there like 2017, and we're literally like, "All right,
Yeah.
guys, we're gonna head back to Congress and lobby
we
to get this
totally
war
got
funded."
your back. They basically did the
Yeah.
homie handshake, like, "I got you, brother."
Yes,
Like,
yes.
okay, guess what? What was it on paper in a contract?
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
They went back to Congress and they pushed it through. It got bounced back 3 times, and then they removed a clause, and it got passed for us to give them money, right?
Mhm.
And the clause that got removed was these weapons cannot go into neo-Nazis' hands. They removed the clause, and then Congress passed it.
So, either way, if I were a leader of a whole entire nation, country, you shouldn't put your bets on you winning a war, or like, what? Not putting your bets, but like you're gonna know your only chance of winning that war, like for real, is through funding from some other people. Like, I mean, okay, depending on how good a relationship you have with those people, that's kind of the thing, but you're not doing things to incentivize where you're trying to be the main provider for your country's needs like that out of your own country and your own people. That's foolish. That is a foolish way to play that game. Because guess what? Amazon Prime's freaking great, but does it come through 100% of the time? Not always.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever 100%. What are you doing to back up if that fell through? Obviously, he wasn't doing shit. He was relying totally on us, and now you can see he's basically throwing a little 12-year-old temper tantrum with his attitude in the Oval Office here. Not very good people negotiation skills. You can tell he's obviously been just like, he's kind of looking like a trust fund kid right now.
Well, they were trying to also say like, "Oh, something broke in translation, blah blah blah," and I was like,
The one thing that wasn't broken in translation was him saying "suka" about JD. That's not broken translation.
"What's that?"
Oh, he basically called JD Vance a bitch in his language under his breath.
Oh, interesting. Because the first time I watched this, I was like, "Dang, why'd they pounce on him kind of like that?" But then I was watching like clips going over it and everything, and like doing zoom ins on him. And nah, dude, he was doing like roll his eyes. He was super interrupty, obviously.
Yeah.
But after watching a few like critiques of it, I was like, "Ah, nah, dude. If this was my kid, I would have slapped him in the face and said, 'Shut the F up and look at me like a man and stop being a little jerk.'" Like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like, sure, he's an adult and he's a president of a country, but right now he's like, quote, the kid in the room here. But I really liked. I wanted to go back here to the JD Vance part because, man, I swear to goodness, I said it last like 2 shows or something, bro. Every time this dude talks on camera publicly, I like him even more, bro. So this dude stood up for Trump, man. It was pretty cool. He played the bully. So it's neat. I'm sure they've talked about this, or I wonder if this was just organic. But instead of making Trump the bully, JD got to step up.
From his prior interviews, I think this is just the dude JD Vance is.
Well, I'm saying like
That's just what he
PR-wise.
does. Right. I mean, it definitely is a smarter move.
So, hey,
because,
bro, if
because
you
Trump
wanna
was such a
step
bully
in-
before. So
Yeah.
like, hey, can you be my bulldog for me?
Because
Like,
also we
'cause
want
they don't
him
like
to take over, maybe, right? Like, so he needs to show that he's a strong dude too. Da da da. Now, what's tricky though is absolutely. Can you name one person that would have the like pull that Trump does because of his billions and business of like before and stuff like that? So I don't know if anybody else could be as good as a Trump, other like a Elon figure or like a George Soros or something, right?
Yeah.
But somebody that's got a bunch of networking. So, but JD's like what second up right now. But check this out.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are not
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to
Can
come
y'all
to
hear
the
that
Oval
okay?
Office to try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring people, you bring them.
We got the receipts on this too, folks. One moment.
Them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem.
Yeah,
Don't
I
tell
believe
us
that
what
would
we're
have been
gonna
a
feel.
I'm not
threat.
telling you.
I believe he was basically threatening.
Threat warning, you know.
I mean, not saying he's going to retaliate, but like somebody's going to retaliate. What does that mean? What do you know then, Zelensky?
I mean, that's
well,
like
what do you know
digging,
backdoor wise?
He's just saying like,
Oh yeah, he's he's doing the like, oh, you're not giving me what I want, so I'm gonna like, you know, I'm gonna lash out on you. First off, he was disrespectful walking through the door. You know why? Where the sorry, we're gonna try to stay on YouTube here. Where the F is your mother effing suit? Well, he showed up in a quarter zip sweater.
Well, that's his
and
thing, bro. He's
some
never worn a suit. Like this has already been a critique of him.
You showed up to the Oval Office. You wear a friggin', especially when you come in to negotiate with these guys.
Well, it's just funny that they let that one dude call him out on it, man. I don't even know who that
This ain't no we meeting up at the bakery.
You saw that the guy called him out on it, right?
I haven't seen that.
Oh,
no.
bro, so you just brought that up naturally?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
dude, hold on,
no.
let's see if it's here.
Because look at everybody else in that room, all suited to the T, because that's respect in the Oval Office. That is why Trump wears specifically the blue suit, the red tie, the white shirt, red, white, and blue, with the crest on the lapel.
Right.
And you gonna come in looking like, I hate to say it, but you basically look like you're the cleaning staff, Zelensky. And you showing up in an Oval Office like that, you gonna demand millions upon billions of dollars? You got some audacity to you, dude. Like,
watch here.
First off, they're not even normal blue jeans. They're black. They're black jeans.
Watch.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. Remember this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war,
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards.
I'm not playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
You're
playing cards.
Mr. President.
You're playing cards.
Serious.
You're gambling.
So he doesn't know that saying or something. He's not card game. Why you say this?
Like, that's not what it means.
The lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. It's
with
back
all
to
respect
you.
to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot of times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
you said thank you.
Even today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Okay, yeah, they didn't say it there. Here, how do you spell Zelensky? 2 E's, right?
Yeah, Zelen Sky.
Because it was someone behind them.
Well, like, dude, that's just like, come on. Clubs downtown Chicago won't let you in if you're dress coded right.
Right.
And they let that whack off into the Oval Office without a suit. Come on. Man.
Second
And
question.
my second question for President Zelensky. Do you ever, why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office and you refuse to wear a suit, just want to see if you do you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting
I don't
the
have
dignity of
such.
this office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe one.
Maybe something like this.
something like
Yes,
yours.
sir.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for.
Second.
So he threw a little smart ass in there. Fair enough, bro.
He
Keep
said-
coming at me. I'm gonna throw a little smart ass out
He
there.
said maybe something a little better. And then
Maybe
he goes,
cheaper.
what is that? That's not like, you're supposed to be like upping yourself right now. That was a downer.
That was a dig at Americans. Maybe I won't waste my money on a suit. So I can feel that.
I guess I can see that angle, but no, this is about the big dogs that play, that have the money and the power. So you're gonna, I mean,
It's a respect thing. It's like
maybe it's a thing of your,
like,
why waste money on an expensive suit? Like I am me. Like it's not the suit that makes me. But
I can't remember if
it's just part of the culture. It's part of how it's pretty much always been.
So here are the receipts. So I don't know if you're into the internet a lot, but I've seen these all over. So I thought this was going to be something that Justin would probably explain away, though. Is like, hey, dude, like, oh, what's up with like the people? Because I asked him about it, I think, but I can't remember his response, so I didn't want to like put words in his mouth or something, right? But I was saying something about like, yeah, but like, what about you? Oh no, his retort was, oh, Russia's doing it too. So it was like, oh, just grabbing people off the street and putting them on the front line to die, like non-taught, like no training or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that's what JD brought up. And he, obviously you're not going to talk about that one if you're on that side. So he kind of went right past that or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is one of them. And so you get the point, man. They're allegedly grabbing this man off the street, throwing him in a car, and putting him into the military to go die, basically. Hopefully not.
Let's bring up another point about this that
But
I
like
think is
everybody
kind
says,
of
Putin's the
important.
meat grinder and just like grabs people and shreds them, and the North Koreans. That's what Justin's argument was, I believe.
And we're gonna sidetrack a little bit, like still involved in the video, but topics a little bit. For the females watching the show, we're all about the equality, but how much equality do you really want? Because were they grabbing the mother or that guy's sister if he had one? No. They grabbed the men and force them go to war. So why don't you just let the equality, thing ease just a teeny bit? Because I know some of y'all are probably pretty patriotic and want to help your country.
Just
That's
get an
great.
office job, bro. Like, don't go to the front line or like the combat-y part. Like,
That's always how it's been too. Literally,
Like,
we wouldn't
like,
have won our
y'all are
wars back in the
managers,
day.
like-
You know who ran all the communication boards
right.
for our militaries?
I bet you just
It was women.
because men couldn't do the multitasking thing, dog. Like,
Yeah,
they'd be
no.
like,
Or they're like,
wait, which one was it?
Jim, did you say Q3 and Q1 or Q1 and 7? I don't.
Yeah.
Like they just be a lost mess, and
Somebody just give me a gun.
yeah, or they just be beefing with everybody around them instead of knowing they just got to get a job done.
Yeah.
like too much testosterone. They're gonna start fighting in there because they're gonna be mad because they don't understand what's going on. They can't multitask. So like, yes, we are equal in charisma and like character. Like,
Allegedly, they
No.
arrested this kid to put him in the military.
don't fight for equality to where y'all are then the ones getting picked up to get drafted. 'Cause
Yeah, the amount of video.
one, you don't want it. We don't want it either. Because
The amount of videos
unfortunately,
of this,
y'all
bro.
haven't had to experience a lot of what goes on out there, and like, war is not fun. Not any. It's very painful for a lot of different ways.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I can get on board with a felon shouldn't be in the White House because I'm a felon. But like, for what, man? So does that make me a horrible, terrible person? And then like, Mr. Trump is a felon for what? Now, what's tricky with that is, in our opinion, he was actually never a felon and those were all fraudulent, brought up charges. Because when you look into them, they actually never went anywhere. Because he's never been convicted of any of them.
Yeah, it was.
And also, by the way, all of those cases are now
unfortunately.
closed and thrown out. And then Fannie Willis, who was the one that brought up the felony charges on him, that got that mugshot of famousness. Not even infamy, it's famousness.
Yep.
So she actually is now in a trial being brought up on felony charges. So projection?
Yeah.
So that's tricky, man. I can't get on board on that one.
We would have to have a whole episode digging into to show the propaganda machine against his charges.
No, not drafted. I'm saying like I'm a felon, and am I a horrible, terrible person if like somebody's a felon and not be in the White House? Like, I don't know, like what kind of felony? Like there's some nuance there and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, like, and that'd have to be a whole episode going into
Neil Tamir's filling in for the troll.
yeah. Troll didn't show up.
No troll.
Did Troll show up last? Yeah, he showed up last.
Troll be lazy.
He's been missing a few.
Yeah, he's doing it like every other week.
Hopefully it's because he's out there picking up some shifts and working hard and bettering himself out there.
Yeah, I hope he's on DoorDash.
Like we literally made it a little unequal in the sense of y'all can't get drafted because we want the betterment for the women. We've always wanted it to be better for women.
Dude, my brother just messaged me today out of the blue, like, bro, I just saw these videos of like these military dudes just whopping up kids out in Ukraine. I cannot imagine that. And I was like, dude, right? I don't understand. They're just gonna like start beating you up until you go, dude. Like,
yeah, y'all thought cops were bad.
yeah, that's crazy. I was like, bro, I agree. I cannot imagine just being kidnapped by my government to be thrown into the like front lines to like no train and something like that's a version of communism, dog.
Luckily,
that
we
is a version
haven't
of
had
communism.
drafting happen for a long time.
Well, hey, like we were talking about, that's one thing that maybe Russia does do. That's technically like a piece of communism. Is how they're allegedly just whopping up people and throwing them in the military to go meet, grind, or die. That would be communistic.
Yeah. A little. Because at least if you got drafted here, we sent you through basic training first.
And they're so communist, they ain't got no videos of it over there, dog. Like Ukraine, you got videos of it. I ain't seen one video of that happening in Russia.
Right, that don't leave Russia borders.
They're
I'm
like,
sure there's
we
a
get
couple out
person
there.
and we get everybody around filming it, and they all go into meat grinder. That's not good, bro. What the hell? But that is the receipts. If somebody's trying to tell you that that is not true, you can find those receipts simply by going over here to that TrutherCast .com website and click on that locals button. Or simply in the description box down below, click on that locals.mastash.com. If you're typing it into a box thing, 3 S's in a row, 4 in the whole word. But you can also just find all this shit over at TrutherCast.com. It'll have all the links and things there and mostly direct you over.
Yeah.
The website's not too great. Again, this is like a 5-10% project here, folks.
Right. Burr,
but it's a decent one.
Right. Burr says there shouldn't be a problem with defending someone who is the president in all caps. Trying to figure out
what do you mean there? Clarify.
What you mean exactly by that. And hey, yeah, good you didn't burn your bra. Bras are expensive in these times of harsh economies. That would not be a smart idea just because somebody tells you should do that. Might be wildly unknowing of factors that why they're saying that.
Ann was saying, like, the feminist movement got to calm down and chill out with the equality because I don't think y'all need to get drafted. Like, yo, man, I would like to keep my women here in America alive. Like, and then also I don't want to fail. So, like, let's not put you into combat, bro. Like,
make a sandwich, possibly get blown up by mortar.
Or, that's the jokey version, but like, run the comms.
I guess you could say there were some people in World War II that were there was probably some women in the kitchen making sandwiches, and then the house got hit by German artillery, and then they were technically, that was also a dangerous job making a sandwich at the time.
Also in their
But
defense,
generally,
I know 2-3
life
chicks.
could be a lot better when you're not on the front lines and when you are back home.
In their defense, I know 2-3
safe.
chicks that I'd 100% want on my battalion with me than a lot of dudes I know. Because they're gangster, bro. And
Yeah.
it was in the military,
Yeah.
and they look like they know what they could do.
Yeah, but
However,
see,
you're not
that-
going to win in a fist fight with a dude. Probably,
But
like you could get
also,
lucky or
you
be
know,
super good.
I mean, hey,
It's just
we haven't
risk.
banned
There's more risk.
we haven't banned women from the military. That's the thing.
yeah,
Y'all
we
can
try to do
join
that,
if you
right?
want that, and we love it if you want to join and be hard next to us. It's the forcing things like how would it have looked? Okay, we seen a young male get
Wait, there's the
mollywomped
president.
and beat up, getting taken to be thrown on the front lines. How would that look if it was a woman? 2 grown dudes pulling up and then just beating a woman down and then making her like, I don't know. I'm gonna feel a lot worse for that happening to the woman than the guy. Like, okay, buddy, you get like at least throw some defensive punches or something. Like, he was barely able to defend himself. Come on now.
Are you ready for this crazy
It's
one?
like, I don't know. Guys have just like, we always were supposed to be the ones that have fought, like, has shed blood. The women are the ones who create more of us. We are part in that, but you are the only ones that can actually like do the thing to give us more fresh blood. So instead of being takers of blood and givers of blood, you guys, we've tried to, that's that whole kind of, we could maybe relate it to 50-50 in relationships. Like, and it's not always 50-50, that's not what I'm saying here, but it's hey, you give the babies, we'll go kill the people that are trying to kill us and our babies. Like, you keep the baby safe. We'll go do the thing of putting ourselves in harm's way because I can't keep the world going. You can. If I die and you're still around, that sucks. But at least there will hopefully be somebody else then around to keep the baby thing going, aka another male. But if all the females are gone, if all of a sudden we just had 0 females, all males, guess what happens next? We're all either just going to kill each other and die, or we're all just going to slowly wither away and die because we're not going to be able to have a newborn kid. Actually, can you? Oh, I guess there's science
You
now.
are going on a full tangent.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
going down the rabbit hole.
What do you think about this one here, Mr. Daniel?
Pole dance boots. I'm actually so mad at the Americans that are protecting Zelensky. For your record, Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, unlawful president. His dream always was to be like Putin. Zelensky's idol is Vladimir Putin. Zelensky always lived in Moscow. He always wanted to get to this high-end society. This is just a boy whose dream became true. He's a comedian. Here's some photographs of him being comedian. He always lived in Moscow. Zelensky lived and worked in Moscow. I don't know why Ukrainians are super supportive of him. Just because they made a movie where Zelensky was a superstar and there was a movie where he's a president. They did this movie on purpose. So people are like, oh, this is a good idea for him to be a president. It's marketing. He's an actor, comedian. He used to be on the stage. And when he was on the stage, the best of honor for him was when Putin was watching him. There was a comedy show in Russia that's called KVN. How I know? Because I'm a singer, I was also there and singing there, for your record, okay? And when you're saying that Zelensky is so good for Ukraine, this person has nothing to do good with Ukraine or Ukrainian people. He was also LGBTQ music band participant. I'm not saying that it's bad, whatever. The music was cool, actually. I loved it when I was younger. And if you Google Kazaki music band, exactly how it is, on the screenshot, you can watch his music videos and he's dancing there on a pole dance boots. So what my point is, this person always wanted to be up high over there with all possible ways. He will not stop from getting what he wants, regardless of the way it should be. If he needs to sell his mom, how we say in Russian language, there is a saying, like some person who will sell their mom just to get what they want. He's that kind of person. All your money that you are donating to Ukraine goes to his pocket and his friends' pockets. None of my friends in Ukraine received nothing in all this time. Nobody got one piece of bread from the billions you Americans sent.
So, like, maybe, like, due diligence and, like, making sure this is information of goodness. But, like, that's what we all kind of speculated, bro. He was an actor guy. He was put in as an actor.
I didn't know he was in Moscow most of his life.
Now, that's extremely interesting.
Yeah, you know what that's smelling like to me?
It's all a
Psyop.
Russian psyop.
They got buddy. He said, you go over here, you're going to put on the play, we're going to steal a bunch of the Americans' money because they're going to send it to you. And then we're going to play this little war. And then all of a sudden, Russia will become bigger again. And then you just have to play your part until we basically con the Americans out of their money and possibly some of their people.
Isn't that what he did?
Then all of a sudden,
what he did last year,
all
bro?
of a sudden, the Russia becomes bigger.
That's what he did last year with those, what were they called? The small, like, infiltree thingies. And we didn't talk about the names enough for him to stick in my brain for forever. But there was the one main war general guy or something. And shit, I forget, bro. But Russia.
Are you talking about the guy, he wasn't like a general of like the actual military, but he was a general of a group of people, and then he
it was like a contracty Blackwater type situation over there.
His plane got shot down or whatever, and he died.
He went
allegedly.
over there and acted like he was fighting for Ukraine, and then they got a bunch of money that allegedly just went over to Russia. So he just took American money that was being given to Ukraine, and then also took that funding away from Ukraine. And then the guy disappeared.
There seems to be some holes in the socks here.
Right. Interesting.
Yep. Like, see, I mean, I want the Ukrainian people to like have their freedoms and whatnot, but I think we could possibly all just be getting played on this one. Looking at that, quite possibly.
I mean, that's what we've been saying forever, dog. Like, the United States, allegedly went over there. There's a lot of like, speculative evidence. And literally, we installed Zelensky because the dude before him wasn't playing the game. So just like we did with, Iran, Iraq, like just like we did with Venezuela, like just like, like all of these, bro.
So that would have been on the part basically to just enriching Lockheed Martin and
military-industrial complex and get the minerals, dog. Just like everything,
also,
right? Like we whopped up the poppy fields over in Afghanistan.
Well, it's another big one. What happened 4 years ago to where the American people are like, we don't want that here in the U.S., but all of our U.S., like Fauci, really wants it going. Gain-of-function research labs.
Right? All those labs.
Which now
that was confirmed
can't be
too.
here, so they just moved them over there.
Yeah, that was confirmed too, bro.
Little Rocket Man.
Neil Tamir was saying, no, Zelensky's the felon. Dude, I saw some headline about this, but I just didn't think it was worth posting. It was like 40-something biolabs confirmed.
Years, specifically the Obama and Biden administration. It's interesting to be federally investigated and threatened by the Ukrainian government, especially shit that you can research into for yourself and find on the internet. Now, it might take a little bit of digging, yeah, but you'll find a lot when you just so happen to look in decade-plus old articles. Kind of like this one, where the Pentagon said that it has invested $200 million in Ukraine since 2005 through its biological threat reduction program. Now, this program right here, right, it took off heavily in 2015. It's now an offshoot of the Nunn-Lugar program enacted after the end of the Cold War, and now works on research projects based on birds carrying viruses and the spread of swine flu.
Which, crazy, time flies. 2015 was the year of Obama before Trump took presidency.
Which ironically right now is spreading rapidly throughout the entire United States. But the United States government doesn't want to be honest about that.
Actually, he didn't take office till 2017 because the election was 2016.
Sure.
So there was that, and then a whole year of Obama policy probably making this get large and strong.
Yeah, because they figured Hillary was then going to take the spot.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep, she was supposed to take over and steal the deal.
Yeah.
I mean, like it says here, about 95 million chickens, turkeys, and other poultry have been killed and disposed of since February of 2022, according to USDA data obtained by Reuters showing culling and disposal methods through late June. And like it says here, bird flu has migrated to nearly every U.S. state over the past 2.5 years. But we're not talking about bird flu in this video. We're talking about something much more severe. What if I told you that these Ukrainian biolabs were solely responsible for the creation of COVID? Now, COVID's not as bad as people make it out to be, but it could have been. And that's why they made it seem so extreme, because they wanted everything to be on the hush-hush. Just like they're wanting me to be on the hush-hush about this entire situation. But fuck that. Who the fuck are the FBI to come to my front door and try to threaten me about shit that you can find on the fucking internet? You got me fucked up. So now I'm choosing to expose every single fucking one of them. The WEF and the Obama administration started funding Ukrainian biolabs back in 2015 heavily to start working on a hypothetical virus called Disease X, which is what COVID was intended to be. But guess who put a halt to that when experiments started to become successful again? Russia. Now, supposedly, like it says here, there's little known about the location of the labs, but reports in the past have suggested that they have been equipped to work with deadly pathogens such as anthrax. Pathogens. And
That's another, like, you know, hey, Putin, maybe not a good man, kill people, something, low-key dictator, like, you know, has elections, but, like, nobody opposes him. Because allegedly, like, you know, don't oppose me.
Right, yeah.
So bad man, but bad man maybe do good thing. He said, oh, my God, what the hell's going over here? You know, they're funding this thing, Ukraine right next to the border, doing holy shit bioweapon. Like, yo, guys, I want to be a dictator and I murder people that don't, like, talk out against me, but, like, this crazy.
Or just part of the or part of the theatrics. If it's the whole, they're just, you know, making it look bad so then they can just do what we were just talking about.
Oh, I hadn't had infiltrate or something like
to make it look away, so then we think Zelensky and Ukraine thing is more legitimate.
Yeah,
even though it could be possibly totally, you know, basically them hustling us.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a whole lot of that going on, right? Okay, so this is cool. So if you would like to actually do something other than just vote to try and change the things around you, you know, in like culture and politics, I highly recommend that you put a little bit of effort in and, you know, not only make an X account, but you should also sign up for the community notes because I did that. And now I get to look at the proposed community notes. I was selected. And what I have noticed is there is a whole lot of the, you know, lefty leaning to extreme liberal kind of sided people that probably have more time of their day because a lot of them don't have as many jobs or, you know, like kids to like, you know, make them busy throughout the day
or they literally get paid from the Democratic Party to go out and quote unquote fight misinformation.
There's also speculative and non-debatable evidence of this because the USAID was funding things like this. So these people
and the guy that was at that comedy club did you see that bit?
Yeah, no, we pulled it up on the show.
Okay, I couldn't remember if we did or not.
He was like, "What'd you do?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm in between jobs. I worked for the Kamala Harris thing. Oh, what'd you do? I was like, battling disinformation." And he's like, "Oh, well, you really screwed that up, huh?" Yeah. He's like, "So you don't put that on your resume, right?"
Yeah.
So what I noticed here, man, was a lot of them are just going on here making opinionated and inaccurate or citing all of the mainstream fake news kind of sites to try and make their proposed community note, right? So it was very interesting to me, right? So I forget what the actual post was. Oh, here it is. It's not just the borders were left open. There was massive concerted or, you know, collaborated campaign to usher in as many illegals as possible on an unprecedented scale in order to achieve permanent one-party rule. So Elon Musk makes a post claiming that his opinion is we literally had the borders wide open so they could get votes, right? A lot of us had felt that way since day one when that started happening.
Yep.
Like literally since day one, and over the 4 years, a lot more people started thinking about that, and a lot of more people started all agreeing that this was true.
With all the terrorist-tied people crossing, it was just the start of the Red Dawn thing, where all of a sudden they're either going to get, you know, binged by the frequency, sleeper agent type stuff, or they just get the text message like, "Okay, time to go kill everybody," and then they try hitting us from inside out. So if anybody's ever seen Red Dawn and understands what
I want to rewatch that movie. So proposed notes here. Elon Musk post needs citations because of his position in the government and his media influence. He's not an ordinary citizen any longer. What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, I don't
That's not community notes. So now you're ruining the system.
You
here,
can't
right?
talk and make certain statements because of the person you are. What?
Which is maybe true sometimes, but like it's just not for what community notes is. And you didn't have any substance in here, like liberal people often do, that are upset about having to post 5 things they did last week, and then they say things like, "I stood up for the vets." Yeah, what did you do, dumbass? That Amy Klobuchar, man. God bless.
I stood up and I sat down for the vets just now. Did you see it?
Well, that was Crowder's joke, right? They were like, she probably didn't even really stand up. Elon Musk's post needs citation, or no, we read that one. Democrats aren't importing illegals to swing states for one-party system. Immigrants don't vote. Citizens do. Electoral shifts come from policy and turnout. Yeah, so that's just, like factually untrue, because they were literally handing out voting IDs to these people, and they were literally finding that there were, it was like 12,000 or 20,000 criminal aliens attached to one social security number.
Yeah.
And then they go get a job, and then they put the job down, and then they can go vote. So like, it was like totally proven that was like happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then how about the James O'Keefe interviews of the criminal alien he followed from the bus to the airport, and then found other ones, and they were like, I will vote for Joe Biden because Joe Biden let me in here. I got attacked by the sound panel. So it's like, well, that was the plan. Whether he got to do it or not, hey, not sure about that, but that was literally the plan from day one.
Man, I just witnessed black on white crime.
It was shady sound panel.
Knee slapper. It's just jokes, folks. It's just jokes.
So I don't know. I think call to action, man. Go sign up for an X account. Go and sign up for the community notes, and do a little something to give back here, man. Help factual information out there. And then don't freak out. Right now, I don't want to make it a full-time job or something, or part-time. So I at minimum go in there and say like, no, this wasn't helpful. Oh, this was helpful. So I'm not like sitting around like doing
nothing
research or anything, but if I had it, I was going to like put things in there. Because we definitely do have some receipts, folks, here at the TrutherCast. And so this is another one where if you're already kind of into this stuff, stick around, don't run away just because you know about these things. You could, easily come over here to the locals community and pull up these receipts. They're very good when you're talking to somebody, maybe a friend, a family member, or a debatable foe. But it's very nice to pull things up when they say like, oh, man, that's bullshit, right? So I can't wait to see how RFK Jr. exposes the corruption between Congress members and Big Pharma. This is going to be absolutely fantastic.
Members of Congress support a bill to fund Ozempic with Medicare at $1,500 a month. Most of these members have taken money from the manufacturer of that product, a European company called Novo Nordisk. As everyone knows, once a drug is approved for Medicare, it goes to Medicaid. And there's a push to recommend Ozempic for Americans as young as 6 over a condition, obesity, that is completely preventable and barely even existed 100 years ago. Since 74% of Americans are obese, the cost of all of them, if they take their Ozempic prescriptions, will be $3 trillion a year. This is a drug that has made Novo Nordisk the biggest company in Europe. It's a Danish company, but the Danish government does not recommend it. It recommends a change in diet to treat obesity and exercise. Virtually Novo Nordisk's entire value is based upon its projections of what Ozempic is going to sell to Americans. For half the price of Ozempic, we could purchase regeneratively raised organic agriculture, or organic food for every American, 3 meals a day, and gym membership for every obese American. Why are members of Congress doing the bidding of this Danish company instead of standing up for American farmers and children? Because Novo Nordisk is one of the largest funders of medical research, the media and politicians and the medical schools all go along with them. For 19 years, solving the childhood chronic disease crisis has been the central goal of my life. And for 19 years, I have prayed to God every morning to put me in a position to end this calamity. I believe we have the opportunity for transformational bipartisan change to transform American health, to hypercharge our human capital, to improve our budget, and I believe to save our spirits and our country.
Amen, brother.
And this another key in David Goggins. Like, nothing that is worth getting in life is easy. So you gotta get
lunch.
crazy and love doing the hard shit.
Yep.
Because that's the only way you're gonna get something of substance and value, is doing things that I just seen earlier today. I think it was on a Snapchat little commercial in between. You know, they got the little commercials in between. This guy was selling or trying to upsell this Ozempic type product, except it's apparently 3 or 5 times as good as Ozempic.
Oh, hot diggity.
Yeah, apparently.
Does it have 3 or 5 times as many side effects?
I'm calling it now. Everybody listening on the podcast, everybody for the record right now, the turbo cancer epidemic is about to even skyrocket further because Ozempic is already proven to make cancer, if not that, sir. There's already been very rapid cancers, but it shows like ultra rapid cancers have stemmed from the Ozempic. Yeah, so
No
something
wonder Pfizer
that
invested in that turbo cancer company.
Yeah, it's almost weird. You know, they sell the problem and sell the solution.
$43 billion.
How do you make double the money instead of just one of the monies? Yeah, you make the problem and then you sell the solution. But like, if it's 3 or 5 times more effective than Ozempic, how else am I supposed to see the stats on that on the back end of things?
Yeah, nobody pays.
Ozempic was only makes you lose that much weight, but it's more and it's unnatural than diet and exercise, actually like using the fat for fuel and burning it out. So now you're going to be 3 times as strong as Ozempic.
Yeah,
How are you not going? How is your body then not going to say, "Oh, now we're not going to turbo cancer because we're losing the weight faster"? So that just means now we definitely won't get cancer. No, that's putting your body. Your body doesn't like rapid change just like that. Cold turkey,
Well,
you
if
know.
did that, it'd probably be bad for you.
Like when people quit stuff cold turkey, sometimes it kills you. So it's not, the fastest way is not always the right way. Again, doing hard is what is worth it.
Yep.
It might feel great that it's easy and lazy, but then you will get hit with side effects. It basically, AKA karma, is going to get you because you took the easy way in. It's, I don't know how to really per se, it's unethical, but it. So if it's doing 5 times what Ozempic did, you're probably getting 5 times the turbo cancer. I can just assume.
Yeah, no, bro.
It's an assumption, but it is a slightly research backed up, assumption because of Ozempic proven to be causing cancer. And now they're out there, dude. It was, I think he said 20%. It can make you lose 20%.
Well, it's because
of
it
your
literally
weight.
just turns off the "tell me I'm hungry" thing.
Like 20%. That's a big number.
So talking about lack of discipline and lack of like any kind of moral values, scruples, things we like teach people back in the day that we don't do any longer. And instead of telling people with diabetes or now there's anyone that thinks they're fat, hey, fat ass, stop eating as much food and go work out. We're going to give them a medication that's causing cancer to just turn that switch off instead of like, hey, we got to have a talk.
But at least they didn't have to break a sweat.
Right. So.
Wow, sweating, the natural way of your body detoxing.
Yep.
Like, totally horrible. Let's just not do that. Let's keep all the toxins in and let's try to burn it away with the fat. Oh, yeah, now your liver is way overdosed with toxins. You're going to get kidney and liver failure. You're going to go into a renal state. And then oh, man. That is just sad.
Speaking of toxic things, we got a comedic relief here because we are over this kind of toxic behavior. But this cop had the best response ever to some absolutely extreme, out of control. They called it wokeness, but I think it's like mental illness. But best response ever.
Jamie, pull that video up.
And it's a cat caller. I'm currently identifying as a cat. Fair enough. The information here on the tag, I'm assuming belongs to you, the boyfriend?
Yeah, that's so rude. I hope you know I'm recording.
Well, it wasn't my intention to offend you, but he just identified as a cat, and you're wearing a Harriet's Waltz t-shirt, so we can do this the hard way if you'd like. I can have this car towed, because last I checked, a cat is not licensed to operate a motor vehicle in the state of California. We can have animal control come get you, take you to a shelter where your owner can retrieve you for a fee of $70 after you're given the necessary immunizations, which do include a rabies shot, possibly even spayed or neuter, whichever you prefer or identify with. Is that what you guys want to do here? Healthcare professional come down here on scene and do an evaluation of you because you're considering letting him take a rabies shot rather than just give me an ID, use some manners so I can give you your ticket and move along.
How's it going, right?
Give that cop a raise. If anything, that guy should be chief of his police force over there, probably, unless his chief's even more like baller in the responses than that. That was fantastic. Because yes, yeah, I mean, did he say anything untrue? No, a cat should not be driving a car. So if I identify as a cat, I mean, it's getting a. Hey, they could say we're crazy. Like, well, obviously, look, I'm a human. Okay, so why are you identifying? So you want to get all the human qualities and like satisfactions, but then you want to somehow weasel your way out of things by saying you're a cat. Like, okay, that's why it's just silly. It's just silliness. You're not a cat. Maybe that saddens you. Well, guess what? A lot of things sadden a lot of people. And you get over it. You figure it out. You got to have a real talk with yourself and then find out, oh, you're a human. You're not a cat. And you just have some like fetish or something going on in your head. Maybe your mom dropped you. Like, who knows? It could be many things, but either way, it's silliness and you're obviously a human. Oh, I love how he was like, you could be spayed or neutered. Like, I don't know which one, obviously. Like, you got to choose that one. Like, yep. Hey, you know, that would kind of start solving the problem, though. Because if those people identify as dogs or cats and then they got spayed and neutered, guess what? Then they can't repopulate. And then that's slightly taking care of that issue. You know, get the DNA out of the gene pool.
It's working with Jack.
So how do you solve this problem, Dan? Do you think firing people is good enough? Because similarly on the whole kink chat or the kink kind of concept, right? Tulsi Gabbard just fired 100+ deep state perverts who were in a national security
like
administration. What does NSA stand for? Yeah.
Is this the thing where they have the chat where like you're supposed to engage in the chat about your sexualities and your fantasies?
Oh, bro,
and all
they were
that
talking about
stuff.
transgender surgeries, saying, oh, I'm going to get the biggest titties ever. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I'm going to chop my thing off. And they were talking about like, oh, this is how I've been putting it in this guy's rear. And like, oh, doing that, like messed up, like extreme weird.
Like if you guys want to
trans
talk
kink
about
stuff,
that
bro.
at the bar, like after hours in your thing,
Or on Facebook Messenger.
Nobody's stopping
Not
you.
on an NSA chat government system, bro.
Something
on
that
government time with other government employees.
we are funding and paying for.
I don't think you should be talking about any kinks
Yeah,
on government time.
And what happened to workplace appropriateness and sexual harassment and all that stuff? That seems like it's just asking for all that to be in the workplace.
Yeah, no, that's why.
Maybe we're just
communists is
working in
trying
the
to push
wrong
this.
place, right? We should be working in the government, so now we can just like half sexual harass people. And well, I mean, they're obviously not going. Your
You're
thing's
planning on
weird.
sexually harassing people? What do you mean that we should?
No, not
That's
that.
where I need to be.
No, like okay.
I mean,
the
Clinton got away with it,
the
right?
Sexual harassment probably not the best way. Like, well, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like, you're not supposed to talk about sexual stuff in the workplace at all.
No, we get it. I was just making a crack because the way you said it, it sounded like you're like, that's where I need to work in the government, where you can get away with sexual harassment. Yeah, no, Dan.
No, oh damn, that's how. Oh man,
Dan, I think you're missaying
that was
this.
a bad misspeak.
I think you're
yeah.
missaying this.
Yeah, no. So I could just talk about all my sexual kinks and
Right.
fantasies.
That's the way you said it. Yeah. Wait, that's where I need to work.
where sexual harassment ends up
Encouraged.
I bet that it's got to be encouraged when that stuff's happening.
During the previous
wait.
administration, this was being allowed
wait.
and encouraged.
Why would that be true? The sexual that encourages sexual harassment. Oh, maybe because we found out that we have paid for the lawyer bills for a bunch of politicians and Congress people to have their cases of sexual harassment and sexual assault defended. So it's not like they're not connected. As we see, the rhetoric they let you do at work, it is definitely results in more sexual harassment because, as we found out, we're paying for politicians to get defended on their sexual harassment charges. I wonder how that became such a popular thing. Maybe making it open and talking in the workplace. Because I know every place I've worked at, you're not supposed to do that.
No joke.
You get in trouble, you get fired,
And then
something like that.
Where's the admin, bro? Like, nobody was moderating or monitoring this shit and was like shutting it down, bro. So like that person was probably in with it, or like.
Well, it had to be like how. What do you mean? How do you moderate that? What moderation is there in that?
Like the ending of like moderating an ending, like hey guys, the
But
butt
then-
stuff was too far. Just talk about being gay and tranny, but like we don't gotta get graphic here.
Again,
or just saying like shut it down entirely.
Again, yeah, that's such a fine line. How about that's just not in the workplace, and you can do that on your own private time or in private messenger chat, not for all you and your government buddies to
Okay,
get all
so
freaky about.
The Epstein thing's a big nothing
oh,
burger right
man.
now, other than it is now ousting a bunch of deep state government bureaucrat officials, or not officials really, but their employees, right? Because they basically spit in Pam Bondi's face here when she requested the Epstein information, and they gave her all of the information that already was released in 2015, but more redacted.
Wow.
So it was basically, spit in the face, slap in the face, whatever you want to call it. However, we are now ousting these people and finding out that there is some weird inside, mold of people that are still trying to withhold this Epstein information. And for what reason, no one would know, because we already know that the, celebrities, were outed. We already got a big list with a bunch of celebrities on this, flight log. We haven't got any politicians, so maybe they're holding it from the politicians. Well, one of the theories is it's actually Wall Street, because a large majority of the Fortune 100, 500 companies are actually existing off of human trafficking. And so all these politicians and other people, and even us, are investing in companies not knowingly that, these companies are actually being funded by human trafficking. So allegedly, a lot of the names being hidden are ones that you could easily follow to these companies.
That makes me think back to, remember that that guy in Chicago that took that like TikTok of the Coca-Cola truck?
Yeah.
Of kids coming out, and then later on they're like, oh, this was false information. It's not. There's I haven't heard the explanation of why.
I know.
How was that false? What was misseen?
Well, who said
Like,
it was
how
false? It was probably just a community note from somebody that was making up bullshit.
Well, like
That's
now
what I was
that
trying to show
you're
before.
saying the top companies are involved, like, that might be a receipt to that.
Oh, dude,
Kids coming out of a Coca-Cola truck. That sounds like they might then be involved in this sex trafficking.
I have on pretty good authority that the FedEx company is definitely complicit in drug trafficking at minimum with the United States government.
Oh, so that's why they were the first to put the cameras on all their trucks to read vehicles going down the road around them. And if anything was bad tied to that plate, it'd call the cops immediately and get those.
Out,
oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, so that's how they're CCTVing because they have CCTV over in the UK, right? To like watch everything.
Right.
Us Americans like our privacy. And like apparently
CCTV's over here now too.
Yeah, it's starting to grow over here.
Security, private security wise or something.
Well, look around town.
Yeah.
Cameras everywhere.
Yeah,
cameras being
they're
put
red
up.
light cameras, bro. It's just trying to obey traffic laws.
No, and they're open on stating they're not.
Yeah.
The cameras are there to help the police monitor the activity of people possibly doing illegal stuff and help them with
like a good idea.
help them with their investigations.
If everybody had a gun, then you wouldn't need that, right?
You know what helps cops with their investigations? Always has. The best way that's helped cops always solve their problems in the past? Citizens just being good people, keeping their eyes open, looking.
And citizens having guns and stopping people from thinking they're going to get away unshot if they do naughty shit.
Yeah. Yep. That would also be another one.
That's another one. But these intros from Mr. Benny Johnson, who should 100% put onto that feed, because you need to build that better news feed. So put that Benny Johnson on YouTube on that feed. Go over to his channel and hit subscribe, because his information is great, but gosh bless these intros are golden.
But that totally makes sense, though. Going back to the camera spying and whatnot. Yeah, you didn't know. Yeah, FedEx is contracted with the U.S. Gov to put these cameras on their trucks because they're riding around all the time. So now they just have more eyes on the street, more ways to watch you. This and that. Satellites can only see so much going straight down. They need more eye level cameras and make sure nobody's getting away, isn't it? I'm sure it might help every once in a blue moon when there's somebody kidnapped in a car and they had the plate number of the kidnapper's car, and then they're just trying to go down the road and all of a sudden their camera pings it up. But it sounds like hey, if I was moving a lot of product, I mean, how else to make it look like, I'm definitely not the bad guy here. Look, I'm helping you guys. We got cameras on here looking around to show you this and that. I'm sure they don't totally know the on-off switch for these cameras when they do their then certain deal. It's not like they can't then turn them off when they're going to do something, this and that.
Right.
This is what a life of a real FBI director looks like. At 4 o'clock in the morning, I start my coffee and I check my Border Patrol app to see how many people I get to deport today. Skip the shower, fix my tie, and now I'm ready. On the way to work, I have a sensible donut, sip my coffee, and listen to the police scanner for any crime. At 6 o'clock, it's time to get to work. I walk through the Hoover building checking under the desk for anyone crying. Those people go straight to jail. At 12 o'clock, I have a lunch break. The leftover chicken marsala give me the energy to finish the day. At 1 o'clock, I like to call Adam Schiff's cell phone and play a recording of a clock ticking. At 5 o'clock, it is time to go home. I slap Dan Bongino's ass and say good game. When I get home, I eat more chicken marsala and then go to bed with my deck of cards. And that is...
Another amazing intro by Benny Show.
The intro is hilarious.
Oh, all his intros are great.
Bro, she's allegedly going to drop these tapes, bro. So now she's pushing hard because they gave her the bunk information. So now they're like, whoa, hey, hold on. We got to get this information. Allegedly has these, but keeps getting held up. But allegedly there's videotape that she's going to release and keeps claiming they're going to release all of it. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I also think it's interesting that Epstein, is gone, but Ghislaine is still alive. When Ghislaine was actually the ringleader, and he was the stooge.
Yep.
So that would kind of make sense if there was some sort of an alleged connection with the Mossad agency out of Israel, and she was actually the operative.
Well, imagine
and he was just the stooge
Imagine how it'd be
guy.
for Israel if it got out that they were actually basically helping and setting up this whole sex trafficking ring.
Not even helping, they did. It was their setup.
Yeah, that all of a sudden, again, just like it'd be like Zelensky in Ukraine. Wait, no, our number one provider of help and protection. Wait, no, we can't lose you. Even though we're basically... The weird thing is, instead of being thankful, it sounds like what they've done over the years is just try to compile evil stuff to try to blackmail and to blackmail and forcibly keep their position instead of doing good things to make us want to keep them as allies.
Yep. 100%.
Like that's kind of that's building the car backwards. Horrible iteration, but yeah, we get it.
Yeah, right.
You guys get it. building the car backwards. It's putting the right shoe on the left foot. It's just not how it should go.
So this week, if you didn't believe that there was some sort of a integrated kind of system thing that was had Trump derangement syndrome and was like absolutely freaking out about angry, I hate the Mr. Orange Man bad. So I made us a custom video.
Ooh.
All right. So it doesn't do it every time, but I'm guessing it's something to do with it's utilizing like everybody's voice to text for prediction or something. So maybe it's not Apple's fault and they're not being anti-Trump, but it is definitely at minimum the type of people that have iPhone say Trump right before the word racist. But anyway, all right, I got my keyboard up here and I'm going to use Apple's voice to text in the bottom right corner. And we're going to say the word racist. Let's see what happens here. Oh, I did it the first time. All right, so it doesn't happen every time though. Oh, 2 for 2. For 2.
What's it say?
It says Trump,
it's catching on.
and then it switches to
watching.
racist. So you can't hear me because I'm activating the microphone. So I'm opening the microphone and saying racist. So I'm trying to voice to text the word racist, right? And you probably can't see this on the video, guys, because it's too small. I can't blow up the video enough, I don't think. That makes it a little bit bigger. It flashes Trump. Yeah, it's like not coming in good res for some reason. It flashes the word Trump and then switches to the word I said racist.
Subliminal messaging.
Oh, it's catching on. It knows we're watching. Dude, I was testing this out before I did the video, and it said, like, Rouch, and then flipped to racist also.
Like every time.
I like that. Dude, that's crazy.
So literally, this starts going viral, and I said, I got an iPhone. I'll try that out. And literally on my phone, see this, and I'm like, I gotta record it, make the receipt.
Yeah.
But hey, I like being like both sides. Like I like being rational. I like trying to steel man my arguments. To make sure that I've got the best argument, the greatest argument.
It's the only way you don't bias. The only way to fight your own bias.
Right, bro. So I go, hey, like I said in the video, maybe this is just, because a lot of angry iPhone anti-Trumper people say, Trump's racist. And then, the machine goes like, did he say Trump's racist? No, just racist. Shit.
Right.
Okay, racist,
right. Maybe people have said Trump racist together so many times, AI just collabs it as a thing.
So Apple came out and admitted there's a problem and they're looking into fixing it. So there's some anti-Trumper coder person guy that put this in to troll everyone.
I mean, maybe the AI. Well, see, the AI has to get programmed. So
that's what happened, and it's not AI. It's just a voice to text prediction model. So it is like machine learning, but not the woo woo AI grade of things.
Yeah.
To get a little bit technical.
Yeah.
But either way, Apple came out and officially said, yeah, no, we're looking into that. Sorry about that, guys.
There is a problem we have found out. We totally don't know what it is, but we're looking into it.
Because then also, I should have a personalized voice-to-text model that's been trained around what I voice-to-text say.
Yeah.
So everyone around the world should not be able to have this problem. So that is a global coding issue as opposed to a local.
We're trying to root for Apple here, but as you guys can tell, it's not going too well.
Which, hey, Tim Apple kissed the ring. He went and made nice with Daddy Trump so he could get money deals, So, Tim Apple said, hey, I'm a CFO at heart.
Well, you know why? Because he's a smart businessman.
Yep, and he was the CFO
and he's
under
Well, also,
Jobs.
then legally, he has to do stuff that's good for the company since they're public.
And he can't get in trouble.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the hell this was, but I said, us peoples that be borns in Americas ought to remember what this was all for, man.
This is the scariest sound you will hear when you live in a communist country. This is the last sound my parents heard when their fathers were taken away in the middle of the night, and they never saw their loved ones again. That's the sound of losing your freedom, the sound of always living in fear. That's my family's real life story. We escaped from Vietnam just days before Saigon fell to the communists. We were given a new life in the most generous country on earth. America saved my life. I graduated from the United States Naval Academy. I earned a master's in physics and fellowships at MIT and Harvard before the left replaced merit with racial quotas. I spent my life trying to repay my debt to America, my country, our country, with 25 years of service in Navy Special Operations, combat in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Somalia. But now our country has taken a dark turn. That's Joe Biden's Justice Department sending 24 armed agents to arrest a pro-life activist in front of his family. That's Joe Biden's IRS raiding a gun shop and seizing thousands of records from law-abiding gun owners. Our names, our addresses, our social security numbers. That's Joe Biden arresting his challenger in the next election, a former president of the United States. And now a different sound. That's the sound of someone breaking into your home or business. The sound of crime destroying our cities and communities. That's how it all starts. They let criminals back on our streets. Millions of illegal immigrants pour across our border each year, including military-aged men from all over the world. And enough fentanyl to kill every man, woman, and child in this country. And the Biden family? Well, that's how it works in a dictatorship. The rules don't apply to the rulers. We are losing our country. You know it, but you also know you can't say it. We're forced to say that wrong is right. We're forced to lie. We can't let that happen. I've been all over the world. Believe me when I tell you, if America fails, there's nowhere else to go. I'm Hung Cao, retired Navy captain, running for United States Senate. I still believe America can be the land of opportunity. I have an obligation to fight back against those who want to control our lives and disrupt our families. We need real fighters, not politicians, not bureaucrats, not keyboard warriors acting tough in a custom-made suit. No, not here in America. We must refuse to be intimidated. We must be fearless. I'm Hung Cao. I'm running for Senate, and I approve this message because I'm not done fighting for us.
Virginia,
Well,
heck yeah, dude.
That was cool if you ask me, bro. I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty badass. Amen. Can I get a little bit more of that?
I can feel the weight of his brass balls all the way from over here.
Oh, right, dog.
Dude.
And then I also thought it was a very something story, something important, endearing, or, impactful, of like, hey, immigrant family, da-da-da, did all this. And then, hey, I did real good until, like, they got rid of those racial quotas.
Seen communism firsthand.
Right.
The Americans literally, like, a lot of them think they understand communism. They do not. Main thing, why it's important for the Second Amendment? Our founding fathers wanted that so bad because guess what? That knock, knock, knock doesn't happen in America so often. Or they have a lot more fear. Because in communist countries, that knock, knock, knock is followed by a door just bust in because they know you ain't got no weapons. They're just going to come in because they have weapons and then grab you.
Well, also, it's isn't it like every single, like, you can just look back in history and every single country that, like, ends up letting their government take guns away ends up devolving into communism like 2 to 5 years after, like something
communism
quick.
or some authoritarian form of government.
Right. Maybe not full communism, technical or something, but yeah.
Because
like
I think that's Venezuela. Like, I don't know if they're full-blown communism, but
Australia's
it's
getting there, right?
They sure are stepping on the line because
they let 'em take their guns away in like 2018 or something. And then during COVID, they were locking them up and putting them in the, quarantine camps.
Yeah, and then there's Canada. We make them illegal and then send them across seas.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even do good things. We just send them away.
You're right.
That was a whole bunch of money all of our citizens paid, and we're not even going to ask money for it. We're just giving them.
I saw one the other day and was like, what happened to UK just locking up their criminals and sending them to Australia? We need to do that again. Like, because they're letting all the Muslims run around killing UK people. I was like, yeah, maybe.
Have you heard of the most recent law changes in the UK, which is just dumbfounding?
No.
I don't know if we went over it on the show last week or not, but they've made it illegal to pray anywhere within
Oh, yeah, no, we did.
200 yards.
Yeah, bro, and then they say
if you live
rat them
with
out.
it, if you have a house within that, you could be arrested
of an abortion center
for praying in your own house.
Yep, in your head.
Yeah, you don't even have to be saying words out loud. If they see you praying, they could possibly assume if you posted anything online, if you have a bumper sticker, anything that hints you're pro-life, boom, straight to jail.
Yep. And well, they said you got to rat them out. So like you would pray in your head and then you would tell your roommate, oh, I just prayed to like save the babies and I hope women don't abort babies.
Yeah.
That guy calls the cops and you get arrested.
Yeah.
That's insanity.
It's just, well, you know what? That's why we left those frickin' tea crumpet eating. Keep it
That's why
nice.
we did the tea thing.
I'm gonna hold back here.
Was it Burr in the chat said something about like Daddy Trump getting away with like tax stuff or something? It made me think of the old Hillary Clinton debate, bro, when he was like, that makes me smart.
Leasing it when you're under audit. So you've got to ask yourself, why won't he release his tax returns? And I think there may be a couple of reasons. First, maybe he's not as rich as he says he is. Second, maybe he's not as charitable as he claims to be.
Okay, pause.
Third,
pause. She's obviously talking to ignorant people because your taxes don't say shit about how rich you are.
Right, she's just throwing out bullshit, bro.
Oh.
Taxes are what you pay on profit you've made.
I mean, it could if you're not a good businessman.
If you're not good?
If you're not using the tax code, because the tax code has all sorts of stuff for you to not pay that many taxes.
That's the one. One I wanted to try and say, Burr, is like the argument of saying like Trump get away with taxes. Ooh, he a bad man. I think that's a bad stance of things because, like, what are you saying? Like, people should just be like lazy and just pay all the money to taxes. F it.
Well, it's basically like us without money going like, he's got so much money. Like, why doesn't he basically kind of
fund the government?
Like, I can only give so much. So how about he gives his fair share? Like, I mean, more than likely what he's paying in taxes is probably going. Well, first off, the money that the government is already getting through tax.
How much was it that Elon Musk
people
paid?
Spending money in his establishment, and he has the economy going. The IRS wants money spent. That's how the economy grows. Money exchanges hands. And guess what? If it goes to the IRS, where does it go? Where does that money go? Oh, as we're finding out, and with Doge, it's going to a lot of shady shit.
How much did Elon pay in taxes? It's like
the most.
It's more than you could ever in your possible human life because you're a poor person, right?
2021, 11 billion. billion.
Like, well,
basically, if
maybe some years they don't pay any taxes, but some years when they actually do need to put like profit on their tax statement and say, "Oh, I'm going to take some money."
Yeah,
they end up paying a buttload of taxes.
Yeah, there's ethical ways and some non-ethical ways of not paying, but the tax code is literally has so much stuff. It is designed for business people to. Well, here's the other thing y'all need to understand. The tax code is for the businessman.
Well, and the goal is
and they give them a lot of advantages because guess what that does?
Right.
Lets the company keep going. So then what do companies have? Employees. Which what do they do?
Produce.
They pay the most tax.
Well, and produce thingies to like make economy be a thing.
To
if there weren't employees that make a
keep
thing, nobody
to
buys
make
it.
products, so then other people buy things, and wait, what happens when you buy things? What happens when you buy things in America?
Oh, you got to pay a sales tax.
Tax on tax on tax on tax on tax. If you're buying gas,
and you put it on a credit
pay
card,
sales and gas tax.
So you got to pay
You
debit
buy
card
groceries,
tax too.
depending where you're at, you pay a grocery tax. Also,
Yeah, we
you
got a
can't
grocery tax
just
here.
buy food. You got to pay the tax for people to.
I got it.
Where the does that money go?
I got an
To
acquaintance.
help the groceries get cheaper.
I got an acquaintance in Roscoe. He says he drives 20 minutes to go to Wisconsin just to get his groceries, so he doesn't have to pay the grocery tax.
And he better get his gas while he's up there
I was
too,
like,
because
hey, man, brother.
the gas is also way cheaper in Wisconsin. I was just there the other night, and I was like, "Damn, I about filled my tank up off of $35. This is what? $2.69 a gallon. When around here it's generally $3.15 a gallon, and it's just literally over the border. What the fuck?
And then so 2015, 2017, ProPublica claims he paid less than $70,000 in federal income taxes. So he must not have claimed profit that year, bro.
Okay,
2024, he stated he
it
paid
doesn't
$10
even
billion.
that doesn't even matter at that point. First off, you better, if you're watching, you better hit in the chat if you have ever paid $70,000 in taxes yourself in a year. I want to know.
Right.
Because we need to network, because you obviously have a lot of money, because ain't nobody, if you, first off,
That's the tricky thing about numbers. Like, what
you're
is fair share?
You're a six-figure guy. Like, you got to be up near $1 million in six figures. $100,000 a year, $250,000 a year. You're not paying $70,000 in taxes. That is still way more than anybody else usually pays.
His total tax payments since 2014 likely exceed $20 billion, with the bulk concentrated in 2021 and 2022. However, comprehensive year-to-year data is not fully public, blah, 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 blah. So, you got to keep that in mind. So, back to the rest of this one.
We don't know all of his business dealings, but we have been told through investigative reporting that
What about all your business dealings, Hillary?
he owes about $650 million to Wall Street and foreign banks. Or maybe he doesn't want the American people, all of you watching tonight, to know that he's paid nothing in federal taxes, because the only years that anybody's ever
Federal taxes are technically illegal, Hillary.
seen were a couple of years when he had to turn them over to state authorities when he was trying to get a casino license, and they showed he didn't pay any federal income tax. So if he's paid zero, that means.
Oh, well, again, let's go into what I was saying.
I can't find the one where he says.
Do you know, unless you read the book, The Art of the Deal, from Donald Trump, he talks about these details. He tells the numbers and what happened with the taxes. The city was struggling. They were begging for like more money to come into their economy. So a guy that is actually able to make a deal and be able to make friends with the bankers that have money but aren't just giving it to the city, even though the city's poor. He then makes a deal to get money from them to bring a thing into the community, to bring money into the community to make it less poor. And so guess what? Since he's a businessman and wants to, since he basically is putting what he's doing, he's got his tail on the line. He's got his tail on the line for millions and millions of dollars. Like, any of you watching, like, if you made a deal and it went sour and all of a sudden you owed somebody millions of dollars, what happens to you? You're working most likely the rest of your life to pay that off. And he doesn't want to find himself in that position. So maybe because I'm smart, that makes me smart. He negotiates, since he has his ass on the line, that they give him a break on this sector, which is, since he's bringing so much money into the city now, he's not going to pay taxes on it.
Tricky. And then, so we get upset.
Because
we're like,
guess
why
what?
does he get the special treatment? Well, he's doing big shit.
What he does with that money, you know what he does with the money he gets? He then reinvests it into other things that then bring that city, that state, the country more economic development, which then coherently brings taxes in. Other people pay the taxes. Okay, well, you don't need to get mad. You need to get smart about it and figure out how to hide your income from taxes, because the tax code is got plenty of things in it. You just don't know how to take advantage of it. Like, we see the IRS as bad for the most part, but the IRS has a lot of rules that are put in place so you can avoid paying taxes. But guess what? Your H&R, your Jackson Hewitt person ain't going to tell you about those things. They're not trained to those things. They're just trained how to make sure you don't get penalized and go to jail, which is insane, because it's really not hard to do at all, because people have been filing their own taxes forever. Ask all your friends that have filed into it, or, any TurboTax, how many of them went to jail for tax fraud? Only if they purposely were frauding. If they made an accident and whatnot, they end up.
Make a correction.
Yeah, the IRS basically retorts back and like, hey, you did this. So then they pay the tax they.
Then why do you make me do this? Why don't you just do it if you're telling me, oh no, we're not going to accept that? That's the thing that blows my mind about the IRS taxes thing. Yeah.
Oh, right. How they can't tell us how much to pay.
We know you owe 10 grand, but we're not going to tell you how much you think you owe. I think I owe like 7 grand. No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Yeah. No, you don't. No, you don't. You owe 10 grand. No, I don't.
And I think those are the guys that are the sticklers in their job, got the stick up their ass.
Well, that's the people you got to hire for that position. Remember this, Dave Chappelle?
Because they're funded for there's no reason for them to do that unless they have a stick up their ass. Because, when you start looking into the tax code, first off, America was founded by business owners
who were leaving for being taxed without representation.
That's basically what runs the world, businesses. So,
and they were like,
they're going because if there wasn't businesses and businesses started getting taken out left and right for taxes, guess what happens to you that generally doesn't start a business and you're an employee? Oh, now you don't have work. Now you can't make money, and now you're starving. So they make sure companies can basically keep afloat. And guess what? The company owners, they're generally much richer than the employees. You know why? Because their ass is on the line for way bigger stakes than you as an employee. It's risk and reward. Yeah, you've heard that, obviously. No risk, no reward. Well, an employee position is a very low risk position. Being the owner, operator, because your company, you have somebody in your company do something that is illegal for the company, guess what? You, the owner, the company gets hit, not the employee that possibly did that. The company, it brings the name come back to the owner of the company. Just like if your dog bites somebody, your name is involved with it. It was your dog. Your name is now tied to that. Just like the business. Employee does bad, business now looks crappy.
Bro, Alexander Hamilton was 19 or 21 years old. So a lot of them were older than I thought. They're like 30s, 40s. Sam Adams was 23?
What? What are you
53? How old the founding fathers were on 1776? Ben Franklin was the old geezer.
I was gonna say he was Gramps.
Thomas Jefferson was only 33.
44. Hey, that's why Thomas Jefferson was Thomas Jefferson when he did that 3-3 numbers.
Do you remember this one? Because I think this might actually explain the clip that I'm looking for.
Never seen a white male billionaire screaming at the top of his lungs, this whole system is rigged. And the moderator said, well, Mr. Trump, if in fact the system is rigged, what would be your evidence? Remember what he said, bro? He said,
I absolutely used it, and so did Warren Buffett, and so did George Soros, and so did many of the other people that Hillary is getting money from.
No one ever heard someone say something that true. And then Hillary Clinton tried to punch him in the taxes. She said, this man doesn't pay his taxes. He shot right back.
See, I understand the tax code better than anybody that's ever run for president, and it's extremely complex.
And then he said,
she complains that Donald Trump took advantage of the tax code. Well, why didn't she change it? Why didn't you change it when you were a senator? The reason you didn't is that all your friends take the same advantage that I do. Hillary Clinton has friends that want all...
No! Messed it up.
Right back. See, I understand the tax code better than anybody that's ever run for president, and it's extremely complex.
And then he said,
she complains that Donald Trump took advantage of the tax code. Well, why didn't she change it? Why didn't you change it when you were a senator? The reason you didn't is that all your friends take the same advantage that I do. Hillary Clinton has friends that want all of these provisions.
And with that, my friends, the star was born. Never seen a white male.
That's hilarious. That was the clip I was looking for. That's a good one.
Yeah. And what did she say after he said that? Barely anything. She kept real quiet on her rebuttals, you know, trying to poke back at him.
Ain't got much there, man. Like, I don't know. Oh, yeah, this is that video where Benny had a guy on that was talking about the Wall Street stuff. So if you're into that, check this one out on the locals.mass-.com feed right here.
I've got a picture with the bull.
Oh, yeah, what's the bull mean?
Like what are you talking about, like in stock terms, or just like the actual symbolism of
Well,
that
we know bull means
there?
like, oh, bullish, and like, oh,
rise.
go up. Like, but why is it a bull?
I don't remember.
I don't know,
I don't know if I
but
remember.
what did they worship when Moses came down from the mount with the 10 Commandments? A golden bull, and it was Baal.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah.
So there's some speculation about where that came from, right?
Also, the
So something I forget a lot. So I don't know if people know Bill Barr, because he was like really into the news, you know, like during the whole Epstein thing or something like that. So did you know that Epstein trained and worked for Bill Barr's dad? So Bill Barr's into the whole thing, bro. That's why they were covering that whole thing up.
Huh.
And allegedly Bill Barr's a terrible man.
Really?
Eh. I was like, damn, that's crazy. I forget this guy's
That's sad, because I like his work.
Right.
It's pretty funny.
Some of it. No, not Bill Burr. Bill Barr, William Barr.
Oh, okay. I feel a lot more at ease now.
This guy.
Oh, that's who the guy was pointing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what the? Yeah, you get the point.
Yeah, I forget it was.
But this guy was
not Barr.
This guy was breaking down how you know, the people that are being like they're not trying to let out from the Epstein list are the Wall Street guys. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, maybe because they're afraid there's going to be a bunch more Luigis that are going to go out.
Oh, there was one. Somebody tried to kill another medical CEO guy.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Attempted.
Well, at least it was attempted. We don't endorse
Yeah, no, I don't think
violence
you should
over
go out
here.
and kill all your problems unless they're pedophiles.
Yeah, still always wood chippers for pedophiles.
You know, like if they so chose to.
Feet first.
You know, I would never do this.
Always
but
feet first.
Yes, we would never do that. But
just you know.
like they should just have a good time, you know? They should have a good time.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, with the wood chipper.
Yeah, like
inside of it.
Yeah, like how I see it is like if that many gears are grinding around like that hard, they got to be having like a hard, sweet party in there. Like I'm just wanting them to experience the sweet party time that the wood chippers have.
They wanted to
inside.
party with like a little kid, and now they can party with a wood chipper.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems fair.
Yeah.
Seems good to me.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think in your comments down below if you agree with those things. Or maybe you don't agree, but maybe you might be in an NSA chat room if you don't agree. I'm not too sure. But hey, if you're in the live chat, go on and fire off. Let us know if there's anything you think that we missed from the last week that was, interesting or, of a good note that maybe needs a little bit more awareness so we can help the peoples find that realization. We don't like forcing our thoughts and opinions or necessarily changing your mind here on the show. We like allowing you to come to your own realizations, as we did when we found out about all this crazy information of tinfoil hattery.
Yep, where felt like I got held upside down and my lunch money taken out of my pockets, finding out something that was told and shown to me to be so true by some certain journalists and whatnot, and then you go digging and you find out, wow, I've totally been fugazi'd.
Bro, this is the thing you need to watch if you haven't watched it yet, folks. If you need to get woken up or wake somebody else up, you pull up the Zeitgeist movie and you watch this, bro. It's an OG, man. It's an OG, bro. I don't know how many people I've activated by watching this high with them from back in the day. Yeah, this came out 2007. Dang, bro. So I got into this stuff like 2007, 2008.
And we're not saying you got to be high while watching it. It just sometimes it's an interesting way to watch this.
Well, I do recommend it because
might,
usually if you're getting like activated, bro, it's a little bit difficult. You kind of want to unplug if you're sober.
If you get stressed out a little easily with some high information,
this is too crazy. I'm out of
there. And if smoking eases you out, because it doesn't everybody, do whatever is going to chillax you a little bit.
Except Quaaludes. Don't do that, folks.
Oh, man. The Wolf of Wall Street says they're awesome.
That like he was on them. Oh, man.
No, Wolf of Wall Street is just like one of my favorite movies. And they just love
But we don't recommend doing drugs or medicational drugs here on this television show. Consult your doctor before doing any kind of drugs, legal or illegal. However, he might rat you out if you tell him you're doing the illegal ones.
Yep. What we do endorse is
buying Bitcoin, but we are not financial
75 hard with sobriety. That's where I was going.
I think we can endorse that.
Even though not financial advice, but if you've been thinking about Bitcoin, you like Bitcoin, it's been kind of an all-time low right now. Good time.
Not all-time low.
Good time to right, not all-time low.
Recent low.
Yes, definitely.
Next time it'll be all-time high.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But we're not medical professionals, so if 75 hard might kill you because you're too fat and lazy, be careful. Maybe don't finish all 75 days, or don't forget
or go
a workout
75 mid hard.
Well, don't forget, bro.
You can't go
a
easy.
Workout. So this is all the other advice I was going to tell you is don't forget, man. A workout is also yoga time because me and the girl, the first time we did this, bro, we went for like 20, 30, 40 days or something like that. We went pretty damn long doing 2 walks a day or 1 gym session lifting weights and 1 walk. Because like we always did 1 outdoor walk. That was the outdoor workout. Because what the hell else do you do outdoors for 45 minutes?
I mean, hey, the military does all their PT outdoors for the most part.
Well, like, I don't have a house. So like, hey, I'm not about to put a mat outside and like do my workout routine of push-ups and blah, blah, blah.
Where's Goggins? Get him in here. This guy's soft.
No,
get a mat out.
We're going to come over to your house, bro. We're going to have to put that
I got cushy grass and dog shit in the backyard.
We'll put the jail workout in the backyard, bro.
Heck yeah.
Can't clear that damn garage out, bro. Sell that.
No, I just got plenty of yard work around where that's plenty
bam,
of.
Bam. There you go.
We're gonna do the certain race of people's workout the yard work it out.
Yeah,
a farmer's
the rice paddies
workout.
Yeah,
we're not
we're
not cutting the lawn, so it can't be that. But
the Hispanics. So
they're jokes, people. They're jokes. Ease up.
So don't forget though, because we went like a good 20, 30, 40. It was long. It was more than 20. I want to say. We went more than half to doing like 2 walks a day at minimum or a gym lifting weights and then workout walk. And it was rough and our feet hurt, her knees hurt. Like it was like, dang, we're wussies. We stopped doing stuff for a long time. Why is just walking twice a day for 45 minutes whooping our ass? So then we finally were like, I bet we're going to have to do 1 walk outside and then we just going to stretch and like maybe do some push-ups and some crunches. For 45 minutes because like I think that's just healthy at this point. Like shit. Like
yeah, I mean, just like machines can only handle so much load, the body also can handle only so much load for how it's built.
It's called 75 hard, but in parenthesis, it also means for you.
That's a
Don't forget that.
I
Don't forget
like
that.
how you put that.
Don't forget that.
Hard for you.
Yeah. You're just trying to push yourself past your current minimums, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And ideally, past your current maximums,
And so far, my hardest bit is being unlike a camel and being able to drink enough water. This is where it's
no, you were calling yourself a camel, and then you were telling me you couldn't drink water, and I was like, bro, you handicapped? You bumped your head before or after you tell me that? Like, what do you mean?
Camels don't drink a lot of water.
No, they drink a buttload of water, and then they retain it.
They drink it where they can get it, but they retain it.
Now, they drink a buttload of water so that they can retain for a long time. We're going to have to go to the grok machine for this one. I would be shocked if that's accurate, if they don't drink a lot. Why do they have humps that store water?
Because they're in the desert, and they if they haven't had it for a long time, obviously they're going to slurp up some water. But the whole thing is they drink water where they can get it, which ain't going to be that often because it's the desert. But the little water they did drink is going to stay around for as long as possible.
Talk about like our autistic specialties. I was going to be like, bruh, what you mean, man? A better metaphor would just be like a dude in the desert, like not a camel. A camel dude slopping down water and it stores it forever.
Well, see, the way I think about it, if I was a dude in the desert, I'd be wanting to drink as much water as possible.
So they don't need to drink often, but when they do, oh yeah.
Oh, they get water from the food they eat.
Of course. I mean, we all do.
Right.
There's a common misconception that camels store water.
Unless,
whoa, I was wrong. That's not what the humps are for. You know, another thing that blows my mind, it's a different, genotype of one camel hump and two camel hump. It's not just like, oh, some camels get two, some get one. It's like they're separate, not species, but like genotype under that species.
Really?
I was like, what?
We a one hump camel farm over here. Yeah, well, I'm a two hump camel farm over on this yonder.
So the humps are for fat storage. So they're like titties?
Okay, you're right. So in short, camels drink a lot of water at once.
That's what I figured.
Well, like as I was saying, when they get the chance.
Yeah, so,
they're in desert.
You got the chance.
I don't think it'd be that often.
Just put the water in your stomach.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I got one of these knocked out, and I just need to get down to the halfway before I pass out here today.
I was hoping to sip on this at least a time or two during the show, and I did not. So I'm almost 3 more of these to go.
Oh, homie, you better start jugging
This is what happened the other night. Where I thought I couldn't finish because I thought it was at midnight. I thought it was the turn of the day, not when you go to bed.
Up your sleep schedule and stay up until you finish the water.
Either way, I'm not gonna be able to sleep because I'll be waking up pissing the whole time.
I should start drinking the water, man.
I'm a very low water guy throughout my years. Like I could literally.
That's the point of the discipline. You just start drinking it.
Okay, well, I'm working into it. Because I don't want to drown myself off
You're
the
not
bat.
gonna drown, you nitty. Come on.
Yes, you can.
Oh my God, I can't believe you were on Team Sean, where you're like, no, you're gonna die if you drinking the water.
64 ounces. That woman or whoever, I don't know if it was a woman. 64 ounces of water.
Bro, you're on
died.
a show that's whole thing is like, hold on, there's nuance to this whole everything, dude. Like, how unhealthy was she? Did she drink it all at once? Did she have diabetes? Did she have a stomach ulcer?
I might have Lou Gehrig's. I don't know.
Whoa, my Lord. Let's find out, man.
How easy is No, I don't go to the doctor, so I'm not going to find out. I'm just going to listen to my body and drink as much as I possibly can before throwing it up.
No, you're wacko. You just keep sipping it all day, silly. It's not like pound it and
that's
die.
a habit I gotta get into because obviously I was supposed to sip it through the show, but as we know, my mouth is too busy yakking, and so
you don't usually drink things much during the show, but you're supposed to do it during the video clip feeds. If you notice, try to do my vape and water thing.
I'm engaged in the time. So
I do cheat because I've seen the video already, so I know what I'm about to say.
I have
after
to
it.
pay attention.
Hey, but you gotta get better at like
that goes to prove so right there, guys are not very multitasking. I can't even sip water and watch the video.
Can't water and video. Hold on, please. Oh, but that's not everyone though, bro. Because I multitask like a mub, and my girl is like, "Shut up! I'm doing one thing. I can't.
Used to.
I'm one thing."
I wish I could
you
figure
said that
out
changed
what
for you,
happened.
yeah.
Because I used to be able to multitask, no problem.
Did you lose your balls, or you find them? You must figure this out.
I think I got brain damage. Really, that's what I'm going with. The bumps on my head could contest to that.
Yeah. They just appeared. No idea how.
Yeah. What is going on with the video? Whoa, hey. Whoa.
Oh, did I go to the 3?
There's 2 of me. I have cloned myself.
Drinking too much water dilutes sodium levels. Sodium is critical for maintaining fluid balance. Drops below baba-dooba-dee. So you just need to have more salt too, bro. So like make some salted goodies.
Right. I got to do. I forget where I seen it.
Oh, tricky.
It was hilarious.
Are fries junk food? So you got to watch that. Maybe that's why it happened. You're going to have to start over. If fries are junk food and you ate the fries, you was going to be on day 1 again.
Well, see,
that's how it messed up, bro.
Like, I would definitely say fries from McDonald's is junk food. But like, other than that, it is
no, bro. You should have got the salad, homie.
Starch with salt.
You should have got the
and then the frying oils, which the oils, depending on the oil, but depending on the oil they're using, that could actually be good for you. Depending on the oil.
On beef tallow, bro. See, you gotta watch out, bro. It's not good.
I guess I don't know. I don't know what Culver's uses for their frying oil,
They
but
put that butter on that burger there.
I mean, that'd be great if it was beef tallow like it.
Again, there's no butter on the burgers,
if
folks. It's just on the buns. I worked there. It's all a lie.
I mean, it's still butter in the burger.
They say butter burger like the burgers are buttered, man.
See, that's the patty. The burger's entire thing.
Touche.
As I was going to say earlier with the Epstein thing, a whole lot of nothing burgers, as people like to call it. Let's get some patties in that burger so we can see who's on the list.
Okay, so healthy adult kidneys can process about 0.8 to 1 liter of water per hour. How much is a liter?
This is a liter.
Yeah, bro. So you could literally just drink one of those every hour and be done.
I'll take it as a challenge.
How long have you been awake yet?
Since
plenty of hours is the answer.
Since noon, which is still plenty of hours to have done that.
Case studies suggest death can occur from drinking water 5 to 6 liters. So 1.3 to 1.6 gallons.
3.78 liters is a gallon. So at least that's not fair.
Depending on body fat size, activity, sodium loss, blah, 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 150-pound person. Oh, bro, so I'm all good. I'm fat. Bro, I got up to my fattest ever, dog. I'm 210. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Added a lot of muscle, but I did put on a lot of fat the last 2 months. I haven't done shit.
You went off 75 hard.
Yeah, I went off, and I kept my eating habits because I'm trying to build muscles. So they also say that it's easier to
build
turn
muscles. You just have them under a jacket, per se.
Well, yeah, right, or potential muscles. The gym bros, bro, they actually say it's easier for you to turn fat into muscle than go from lean skinny and gain muscle.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? I was like, what the what?
Yeah, well, it makes sense because of the chemical, the chemical action. Because if you don't have any weight, then you have to ingest and then make the new cells.
Right.
All that's happening with the fat is it's there and it gets converted.
What's it called?
Atrophy?
What's it called when you like push the muscles to exhaustion? Who knows what that one's in the chat?
I believe it's atrophy.
If you can drink 128-ounce beer, you can drink the water. Damn, Wilkinson. Gaza hit you in the soft spot.
I'm not that. I can't drink that much beer. I'll
neither confirm nor deny.
Maybe on some days I have drank that much beer today, but I am definitely not much of a beer drinker because it's and this is what I've said in the past. This isn't just for this. Too much liquid. I can't contain that much liquid, and I just got to pee too much and all that stuff. But I basically get like liquid sick. Just the sloshing. But yep,
Drinking-
I will just say that was a leading up to breaking me into where I can drink that much water. Yeah, but that is also a good. I'll give you that one. That was a good rebuttal, Will.
you right. She always says things where I have to say,
How many?
Yeah, you right.
How many ounces in a pint?
Hey Google, how many ounces are in a pint? 16 fluid ounces.
And what's a can of beer is 12, right?
Why have I never heard anyone be like,
a
yo, let
can
me
or
get
a
a pint
bottle
of
is
weed?
12, right? That was a pretty funny one.
Love you a lot.
Yeah. What? Okay, so bottles and cans are 12 ounces, right?
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, because obviously the pint's bigger.
And the tall
Only
boys are
4 ounces? Wow, only a third bigger. That's kind of
Yeah,
surprising.
Wilkenstein's on it. Yeah, 12.
How
much does the tall boy?
Okay, Miss Miller.
You're right.
Yeah, atrophy. Yeah,
Not
yeah.
atrophy, autophagy or something.
What? No, it's atrophy.
Now, atrophy is when you don't do shit and the muscles go away. I was saying, what is it when you push your muscles and then you have to push it there for it to be built?
We'll ask Grok now.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, how many beers would it take to get to 128 ounces?
128 divided by 12?
Well, it's minus.
Just by 10 would be 120.
So basically a 12 pack.
You've definitely smashed that out in a couple hours.
Not a couple hours. Several hours? Yeah.
Lies and deceit.
The only time I've drank that many beers is several hours. It was a whole night.
What's
of
the
working on
difference between
stuff.
several and a couple? I don't mean literally two, so maybe I should have said a few. Autistic
No,
man.
I was thinking like 6, 7. Like that.
No, bro, you've definitely knocked out a 12-pack in your life in the span of like 2 to 4 hours.
No.
Man.
Dude, not beer. Dude, like I'm telling you, the whole like my stomach does not I can eat. I can eat food pretty darn good. I have never been a big drink like when Hometown Buffet was in town or Home Country Buffet, whatever it was. You know which one I was talking about?
No.
The one that's across from Murphy's. Well, it's now Lazy Boy, but it used to be the buffet back in the day.
Hypertrophy?
We would go there as a family, and I will put down 3 full plates of food, and then I'll go get dessert after. Guess how many glasses of just drink, we'll say, I'd have with those basically 4 plates of food? 1. Maybe on some days I'd get a refill and drink like half of the other glass.
Yeah.
That's all. Generally, I will eat my entire meal and not even like think about the fluid, and then I just drink the drink after my meal.
It's not
I gotta figure out what the animal is that's just good with water, and then because obviously it's not Cables. I've been wrong this whole time. I have been saying bullshit.
You mean that doesn't need a lot of water?
Yeah. What's See, Burr Brady down here is contesting for me, and because she knows because
he can't chug beer
because she would have been serving them to me over some years, and yeah. I mean,
Australian thorny
I can
devils.
drink
That
some
sounds
drinks.
about right.
I could definitely be an Australian thorny devil.
I asked for mammals. Okay, said technically a reptile, but not. But a non.
Maybe
Sandcat?
maybe creature. Would
So,
be,
yeah, there's going to be more deserty.
desert hedgehog.
Ooh, hedgehog. Are
Hey,
there
I could be a desert
hedgehog?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Are you trying to figure out where you're going to show up for furry night, dog? What do you mean you could be? And like, you're like, I'm going to find my water spirit animal.
I'm not part of the NSA that chat group. Okay.
Oh, they didn't let you in.
They said furries was so yesterday.
Yeah, so yesterday you gotta chop dingles off and do things in the rear end.
Or I gotta have a couple more screws loose up there.
Homie, what the
no
F is a
furry
jerboa?
stuff. No furry stuff other than I own a bunch of furries.
Right, I like them when they're bed What the hell is a jerboa? Similar to a kangaroo rat? What the frick is a kangaroo rat?
I think I know what they look like. I can't. Ooh, a fennec
What
fox?
the frick is a fennec
A
fox?
fennec fox is the really tiny one.
Ah.
Yeah, they're the small, tiny, fluffy, adorable one.
Kangaroo rat's also on the list.
A lot of people have fennec foxes as pets over conventional fox.
I still want that big cat stupid thing.
The Savannah cat?
Bengal. The Bengal cat.
Do they have an actual just Bengal cat?
What?
Or do they?
You're not aware of the Bengal?
Like there's ones that have certain color patterns that I know.
Nah, there's a Bengal cat and it's like larger. Is it not a Bengal? No, it's a Bengal, right?
I mean, it says right there, Bengal cat.
Yeah. And they're like slightly larger. You're like, damn, what the hell is that?
So it's a little like a Savannah cat, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Savannah cats have stripes. This one has
A giraffe,
spots.
perhaps? Yeah,
Well,
that's not a bad one.
that's a little weird because I would think like a Bengal tiger, it would have stripes, but it has spots like a leopard.
Yeah, right.
This world don't make no sense. Who the heck named it that?
I've always wanted a Bengal, but they're expensive as shit.
Yeah, they're rare.
Yeah, look at this. Is that another Bengal? Is that like...
Looks like a Bengal by its fur pattern.
Yeah, right? But it looks much larger than this cat.
Hey,
Interesting.
I mean, it don't look that much bigger than
2025,
some house
bro. We're
cats
still
that I've
falling
seen.
into cat internet, bro.
They might weigh between or more ranging. Oh, dude. I know 2 cats that are bigger than that.
Well, that's because they're house fat cats.
So what? They're still...
I'm talking like normal, okay? So if you house fat cat at a Bengal, that shit, man, it's going to be like 30 pounds. Like,
I don't know if the... I mean, I don't think the Portuguese will work because if it's geese on a porch like the Family Guy, geese generally in water. So I think they'd have a lot of water in it. I think they'd like drinking water.
Savannah cat is bigger than Bengals? I've never even heard of Savannah cat.
Really? Oh, no, they like standing up, like its head could be like right here if it was standing up on its rear. Yeah, they're like dog-like.
I was definitely thinking of Bengal, but...
They're like a miniature cheetah. That's what it makes me think of. It looks like a miniature cheetah.
So they're like same to double that of a Bengal. Interesting. So they go all over. The other one is you could just get a lynx.
Or a bobcat.
That's a little ludicrous.
Bobcats actually can be...
No!
No, they actually can be... a bobcat will be...
That's too ludicrous.
No, bobcats are actually nicer than lynx.
Which one do I not need to get a special certification
lynx will
for?
Mess you up before a bobcat.
I don't know, eh?
I mean, first, have you seen the paws on a lynx compared to a bobcat?
Oh, no, that was a joke. I was not serious about that one either. Yeah, no, lynxes is not to be played with.
It depends on the state you're in for the licensing you need for them. But in okay, here in Illinois, or if you're from outside of Illinois and you call it Illinois because you're ignorant, I don't think any of those type of cats are where you don't need a license. I'm pretty sure all of them do because have a pet fox, you need licensing for it. Well, actually, you don't even need you don't even need because those cats you need a F1 or F2, or like sometimes I think F3 is also the last one down. F1's the highest grade, but to have a fox in Illinois, all you need is a fur bearer's license, which is actually a hunting thing. You go to wherever you get your hunting permits and stuff, and you ask for a fur bearer's license because it's technically
They're from the old pelt days.
Basically, yeah. So
Interesting.
it's almost like you were to be hunting fox. It would be for if you were to hunt a fox, you need that.
Right.
Like a
Like deer
fox or a
tags or some
coyote
shit.
or a raccoon, you need a fur bearer's license to be able to hunt it. The only difference is you're now having it in your possession alive and not to skin it.
Interesting.
Yeah, They just need some money. They just want money for you to have something that should be in the wild doing wild shit.
The word I was trying to think of for making your muscles fatigued so that they build new muscles, I was reading this word and I was like, hypertrophy. No, that's not the word. No, how you pronounce that is hypertrophy.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Hypertrophy.
So we had the hypertrophy in it.
Yeah. That's what I was
We just
like,
didn't get the first part.
Nah, it's not atrophy. That's the bad one you don't want. Hypertrophy. That's a good one. That's the one we try to do. 75 hard. But I'm telling you, bro, if you're trying to bulk up, dog, all I did was for 6 months to a year was eat a bunch of food and go to the gym 1 to 3 times a day and lift weights in a certain way for hypertrophy.
Dude,
And then boom, done.
Imagine if RFK gets everybody free gym passes.
Homie, that's what I said in COVID.
First off,
like COVID was going on, I was like, how are we not just
I would
like
then
funding
actually maybe go to
gyms?
the gym because I don't go to the gym because I don't want to pay the membership.
It's $10, you cheapskate.
I also
Even
don't like being
Christmas.
around a lot of people. That's the next thing.
Yeah, okay. When are you gonna go when there's a lot of people?
Like almost any time.
Yeah, when? When are you gonna go?
When would I plan to then wear?
Yeah. Like probably after you get your groceries at midnight. Not a lot of people there.
Maybe. Oh no.
And they have a meter. You can go when the meter.
Have you ever passed them? They're surprisingly busy in the middle of the night.
Not true. That's where everyone parks their car to go party. Because we go in there and there's a bunch of cars and it's dead. And I'm always like, who's parked in this lot? I don't get it.
Never thought of that. That's kind of like a decent hack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who's going to suspect you're not at the gym? Your car's there. Only if there's nobody in the gym then. But there's always going to be somebody at the gym.
And it's 24/7, so nobody getting towed because they might be in the gym.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They can't really.
You might not see me on the treadmill. I got a wicked
There's
deuce,
always
man.
at least one person at the gym.
Yeah.
Either the person behind the desk or working out. One of those.
Yeah. So $15, you can do it.
Yeah. Or I have a whole yard of things, and I have a machine.
Yeah, but the tricky one is which one's going to make you do it, man? Because who taught you to brush your teeth?
My parents.
Right. So why'd you brush your teeth?
Because I didn't want cavities.
So who told you to get cavities if you didn't brush your teeth?
My parents.
And so how'd they convince you of that?
Well, joke's going to be on you because the machine's at my parents' house.
So this might be helpful. You get older and you don't have parents' accountability. So what is it? It's money. So how you get accountability for yourself is you spend money on the thing you're supposed to do. Then you're like, shit, I got to get my money's worth.
Or I just do what I got to do, and I'm Jewish about it, and I save money, and then I invest into the rest of
When's the last time you
things.
did that?
This is true. This is true.
Because is that book read yet, brother?
Nope.
You didn't even pay for the book, bro.
Hey, I did pay.
No, I bought that one for you.
I bought my own.
No, I bought it for you.
Before I even knew that, I already bought my own copy.
Oh, the rich
and
dad?
then and then, but since you wanted me to read it, so I read that one. Then I gave my version to my dad, and Pops read it.
The rich dad?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
It's a much smaller.
Oh yeah, you went with because you went with the frugal, the bulk one that was like physically tinier.
I didn't even know it was that tiny until it showed up.
Well,
I didn't even know.
When I was going to buy it, I saw, what's this? It's cheaper. And then I read the description and was like, yeah, no, that don't sound good.
I don't think I read the description. I'm pretty sure I just
$10 sold.
I seen paperback, hardcover, and I was just like, hardcover 25. I think I'll just do. I'm a little tight on money right now. We're just gonna do the paperback, even though I want the hard. I always want a hardcover. I just tried being smart with my money and got the paperback. I did not read the description.
You gotta finish that. I read the book twice now, bro. What the hey?
Yeah, I know. I'm almost done.
You gotta finish that.
I'm almost done.
Well, we gotta start the other one because Mr. Niltamir here got the other one started.
Yeah, I know. He's about to lap me.
Good man.
I can't let that happen.
Well, I lapped you. He just moved on from us, and he read that DDP book, and
well, if he reads a whole nother, it don't matter.
he read the whole
book.
DDP book, and then now started the cash flow book.
DDP.
Yeah, he got a DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. He got a DDP workout book thingy, You don't know Diamond Dallas Page? You weren't into wrestling?
Not really, no.
Okay, so he's like old, big, famous wrestler guy. So when he got older, he had like a physical problem thingy. So then he did a workout routine thingy, and he turned that into his new hustle. So he's got a whole like, the DDP, like, yoga thing, or something.
Right.
But it was really good for Sean. So it was cool. But he read that book, and then now he started the cash flow, and I was like, I gotta start that soon though. Or we're trying to pull your butt along before we go too far, and then you're like, screw it, just not do it at all.
Hey, don't you worry. My turbo's just really big and it's boost lagging. All of a sudden, I'm gonna then I'm gonna pass you.
Well, what you need to get good at is being like this. You need to be like reading.
Consistent.
Water.
Yes. Taking
Reading.
bites. Taking bites. Yeah. I try to do a whole thing in just one. Instead of taking bites at the burger, I try to eat the whole burger in one bite. It doesn't work.
I got to read my book in the morning, otherwise I screw up, and then I late read, and then I start falling asleep thingy. So I read that this morning.
Yeah, that's also what I try to do.
Did you get the app, or are you too cheap?
We
did it the first time.
What app are you talking about?
That's where I was sending you the picture. The 75.
Oh, the 75 hard app.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen it was $8.
We bit down and just bought it.
Yeah,
it's definitely helpful.
Have you read the comments of the like reviews and stuff on it? People are like
He's talking shit on it.
Like they're like, oh, like I'm pretty sure they're gonna like they're
gonna steal my workout data.
No, it's like cloud backed up, I think is what the guy was saying. Is like, oh, who knows where these pictures are going to? Like they're not really just like private for me.
I
Like,
did see that. Yeah.
Like, come on, man. No, they're not.
Cool, man.
They're
Don't
not.
show your balls.
They're going to a server somewhere, like it being stored in the server. That is it. They're not. Andy or whoever he had write up the app is not like searching for him. Like, hey, we totally created this app just so we can get some really raunchy pictures of some nasty fat people. Now, then we're gonna have a secret dark web channel where we sell them because people just love buying pictures of people that they don't realize is not private anymore. No, that's not happening. I mean, I can't say for sure it's not.
Burr knows that DDP was the shit, bro.
Yeah, she knows a little more wrestling than
DDP
me.
was the shit. He was gangster. Then he'd do the, what was it? The diamond something, man. He'd do the be like, drop the dude on his head, man. I forget his like his finisher move.
Yeah, no, I was more just Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. I didn't really care for the wrestling thing. All my friends did. I was like the one person. I
got
was
some
just
friends
like,
that are still into it. Yeah, the diamond cutter, bro. Look out, man.
I
and then they
also
came out
have
with
been
the video
known to be the
game.
guy where now see this is how I turned conspiracy because I always went against the masses. It's like, oh, everybody likes wrestling. Now I got to do something.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what steered me in that direction. Yeah. It's definitely entertaining though. Like I kind of wish I would have at least experienced that little bit of life.
Oh, dude, yeah.
As so much of high school
too, bro.
and stuff like that. Like just not a lot of experiences. Just trying to go against the grain. And now I feel like I've missed out on so many different little parts of life. But that's why tomorrow's another day and there's so many more days to do things.
I love Grok, dude. It talks like normal. Later, Randy Orton's RKO adapted the cutter concept, but DDP's version remains iconic for its flair and unpredictability. Like when he distinguished himself from La Parka and nail Macho Man Randy Savage with it on Nitro. That's the bang you're asking about.
You said distinguished. Disguised.
Oh, disguised. Derp.
But he was distinguishable.
He was distinguishable.
True statement still.
All right, that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Then I'll stop public shaming you for not doing your 75 hard.
Okay, that'd be appreciated, you ass.
It's the only way to get you to do things.
Hey, pressure's the only thing that makes diamonds, so.
That's why he's going to be a new fan of Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh, totally. So
maybe you got to get that book from Sean, bro. He like it.
Maybe.
He liked it, man. You know, it's like yoga workout thing, something. That's good stuff.
Oh yeah, he actually a wrestler ends up introducing yoga into it too. I like it.
Oh yeah. Turns out you got to do that shit. So
You would think those guys are only about
that's the front.
heavyweight.
The front.
Heavyweight.
They're acrobatics, bro. They're all faking it, so you got to be acrobatic.
Well, like actually, when you start really getting into the muscle building, you actually can't build great muscle at a certain point if you don't have the flexibility behind it too. You got to stay flexible.
Yeah, that's why the muscle bros are silly. Undertaker was one of my faves
I
too.
can bench
agree.
450. Hey, can you grab that off the top shelf? I can't quite get my arm together.
He's a little bit older than Undertaker, but I think the best hands down was Sting. I think Sting
was always
the best hands down.
It
was a little mysterious.
Yes,
he had dank like face paint.
He was one of my favorites.
He got a little bit of the Halloween vibe going on.
It was between Sting and the Undertaker.
Undertaker was dank because that the whole song thing.
Yeah, that was
he had the
majority.
creepy little sidekick guy.
Yeah.
That was a good shtick, bro. And then I really liked who was the goofy guy with the like split personalities. Michael something. Man, the guy with the split personalities was actually pretty good too. But then Stone Cold Steve Austin was just like I'm gonna be like him one day because screw people and stuff.
And I like beer.
Yeah, the hard ass guy. Yeah.
Yep.
I wasn't a big fan of The Rock, and he was the bad guy.
He was the partier, Steve.
Right.
Stone Cold
Or he
Steve
was
Austin.
just like the not talking, not taking shit, talking like a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
That shit was hilarious.
And then there was John Cena.
Yeah, that was like I got out of it before he came in. And what was the other ones? Rey Mysterio was the shit.
I just like
he died.
I just love the whole John Cena shtick because it got behind the whole. Remember when Vines came out? Like he started like everybody went crazy with the it's John Cena. So many good little short funny videos came from that. So I like it.
What was it like Mike Myers or some shit? That's like the Halloween thing.
Yeah, Michael Myers is the Halloween guy.
Mankind. Mick Foley, dude. Yeah, Mick Foley was the shit. He was Mankind, and then he was Cactus Jack, and then he was Dude Love. Oh, dude, that's some OG shit right there.
Yeah, Burr knows a little bit of her wrestling. Mm-hmm.
Who was the guy that died falling on the pin corner? He was the shit. They had an accident. They were gonna drop him in on the strings.
Yeah,
they, like busted Owen Hart, bro. Owen Hart was the shit.
Man, that was a sad day for the sport. Like everybody was so. I remember when everybody was just like distraught. But yeah, strength without range of motion is not very useful.
Oh, his head struck the turnbuckle, bro. God dang.
New rule for all WWF, WWE now. Everybody's got to wear helmets. Wouldn't that be a funny thing?
I don't think they let nobody drop in like that after that.
Right.
Bro.
Yeah.
Ruined it for everyone.
Because imagine if all of them were just wearing helmets.
Bro.
How weird would that?
Oh, you mean then it'd be called football? Bunch of ninnies, bro.
Unpadded.
Bunch of ninnies.
No bad football.
Oh man, football was made for ninnies,
Actually,
bro.
that would be old school football. Because yeah, they didn't really have like
Mankind was second favorite, right, dude? Yeah, the Mick Foley thing was a good shtick.
Like they had helmets back in the day, but they didn't really have pads, so that would be a pretty accurate statement.
Bro, because they'd always call soccer grass fairies, and soccer was my sport, and I was always just like, bruh, we have like barely shin guards on, and y'all are like, we're padded up with like helmets.
Well, I mean,
you're just being careless with your analogies.
Well, I mean,
soccer's pretty hardcore, bro. And you go for 45 minutes straight.
It's not a hitting sport, though.
That's not true.
You can if you want to get carded.
I mean, you don't get carded all the time. That's just if it's egregious. But you smash into each other, it's 100% legal to fully slide tackle somebody from the front and just rake them with your cleats and smash into people.
You know what I did when I
played
soccer?
I was the enforcer guy on the team, so
I was defenseman. You know why? I had apparently the strongest leg on the team.
Yeah.
Because kids would try coming at me, and this is where it was a little physical contact sport for me because I was literally just shinning people.
Yeah.
I would just literally go to kick the ball, they had it in front of their legs, and I'd basically just kick the ball and their legs out from under them, and the ball would just go wherever, and the kids would just.
Yep. You know what else is in any sport? Basketball. That sport sucks. I fouled out of so many games in that sport.
Oh, I was just watching a game on the TV somewhere like either within last week or something like that, and I watched
rugby is hardcore.
Get like elbowed, and it was just like, oh my god, look at you flop on the floor, and now you're selling it. And they did the replay, and she it was women's basketball.
They do it like
not
soccer now.
trying to undermine it much, but yeah, she didn't even the elbow was like obviously can't elbow my own face, but it was just barely grazed her face, and she literally flopped all over on the floor, was holding her face oh, my nose is broken.
They've been taking that from
It's
soccer.
Jesus, come on, people.
Kane and Undertaker were portrayed as brothers, but in reality, they were not related. Their brotherhood was a fictitious narrative.
My childhood was a lie. Patrick Kane was in WWE.
Kane was a good character.
Kaner.
That was entertaining.
He's now on the Red Wings. That Drayton's.
All I know is Hulkamania campaigning for Trumpamania was hilarious and awesome. I can't believe that we're in that reality.
People are like, oh, really? You're so childish. He brought everybody's loving it. You're just wrong, right?
Yeah.
You're just jealous because you don't know about Hulkamania.
You're just jealous because you don't got some Hulk ass dude going on the Dev side or something, right, bro?
Well, what do you got against the Hulkster, man?
That was badass. Other than the weird, he was something cheating on the wife or whatever, right? Not cool.
Yeah.
That's a bad
Hey, when
move there,
you got
bro.
that luscious blonde locks of hair and you're muscle bound, and he probably couldn't even fight all the women off of him. To be honest,
Can you really?
The cheating was him probably holding 3 women off of him, and one's just touching his junk. He's like, "Hey, get away from her!" I only got so many hands. And then his girl came in
happened.
"What's happening?" "Honey, I'm trying. They're just so dang freaking hungry." God.
Can you really blame me, brother? All right, man, that's all. We wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for showing up. Thanks for staying long. Make sure to drop things in the comments. Like it.
Yep. Those that are
Throw
still
it out.
watching, you're the real OGs. Still watching till the end.
And make sure to share the
appreciate you.
show out to one person.
Yeah.
Because, maybe we could double the viewership next week.
Yeah, if you're not subscribed. Are we still at 69 followers? Giggity. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, we got to get off.
We didn't get one this week.
We got to get off that naughty number, guys. Come on, we need 70.
Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, man. So, definitely make sure to share the show because Dan likes people not being hoes, and you might be a hoe if you don't share that show.
We need a less hoe world.
And more housewives. But you
Yes.
can't make a hoe a housewife, says Snoop Dogg.
Yep. By the words of the great.
You can also go over to
Double G Doggy Dog,
who also endorses Trump now.
Now, yeah, did a little flip flopping himself.
Hey man, I'm sorry about that whole video with the shooting you in the head thing, man. But I'm trying to get on the Daddy Trump train now. So hey, diggity yo, man, yeah.
I didn't quite realize things before. I am sorry.
Also, I would need a job. So can I DJ at one of those events for you? That would be great. Yeah. I lost all my Trump supporting homies. All right. So, TrutherCast.com, you can go over there, go to the recommended alt news creators list. It's right in the resources tab. But if you go over there, folks, I got a list of recommended alt news sources that you can use to help build a better news feed. That is what we're all about here, folks. Help the people find the awareness and, come to some realizations. Because usually when I talk to people about all these things, they're just confused how I know all of this. And because I built a better news feed, man, over span of 20 years. So start building your better news feed today. And if you got a computer, sign up, nottoleratetech.com. And that's all I think I got for everyone here today.
Yep. Subscribe, share, like it. Come on, we got to get them likes up every week too, you know. Oh, we got another person in here. We've had a consistent 8 people through the whole night, only 2 likes. I know when you're in the live chat, it hides the likes. But if you then close the live chat down, because you can bring it right back up, you can hit the like button and then go right back to the live chat. Don't forget it.
Dig it, people. We got a 2. We got a 1.
All right.
We got the all right. Where's the button?